I broke my back.
What do you mean by that?
My back is broken.
What do you mean, calm it down? It's a fight. Referees telling two fighters who want to fight to calm it down? He should calm down.
I saw he's like a clown in his show, man. He's not your guy.
If Tyson Fury's back, and all you motherfuckers are under attack.
Look, Eddie Hearn can say all what he likes. Who gives a shit what Eddie Hearn says? It's garbage.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Can you let me retire and be happy? Please? Just please.
Bombs away for the Bronx Bomber!
Wanda! Let's go, baby! Let's go! I'm through. They put somebody else up and give me an interview.
What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
You never give me a fair shake. HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit. You're not shit.
I wish I was 50 years younger and I'd kick your ass.
I got dropped, man!
Are you kidding?
No, you won the fight.
OMG. I am so excited.
Any of you radio personalities think you want smoke? Call me Mr. Chimney. I want smoke.
Yes. What is up, MCR family? Another daily edition of the show live on YouTube, podcast from iTunes, Spotify, radio, etc. I'm Matt, the Hipster Hunter. We're going to be talking all things boxing. Of course, Canelo-Kovalev pre-fight show, preview, breakdown, all that fun stuff. It's here. There's been no controversy, except for one we're going to get into, a la Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya later on in the show. But other than that, no controversy with this fight thus far. No issues, no PD issues, nothing, no injuries. And we seem to have a super fight ahead of us on Saturday night on DAZN. And, of course, we're going to break down that and all the other boxing cards and events this weekend, which are a lot. By the way, there's one on Top Rank and ESPN. There's a FS1 PBC card and also another DAZN card, a Matchroom card on Saturday. Just a packed and loaded day of fights that is going to take up all of our time. Plus, there's obviously a UFC card on that day as well that's still going on. And the main event is still going ahead of schedule. As you saw, that has cleared Nate Diaz. I'm going to break down that card later tonight with Anthony Walker and Jason Burgos of Sharedar.com. But right now, I'm joined by the lovely host. You guys know them. The one and only is UK Rob and Gary. But let's go to Rob first. Robbie Hearns, second cousin, twice removed. Rob, how are you, man?
Yeah, doing good. Big weekend, the big fight. Glad to finally find it's landed on Sky. You know, a little worried that Sky were willing to show KSI Logan Paul and not Canelo-Kovalev. But shout out to Sky. They stepped up, ponied up the dough, and we got it all's good, you know. So looking forward to it. Lots of news to talk about, lots of some interesting stuff going on over at Golden Boy and stuff like that. But Gary, how you doing, man?
Gary and Dallas, what's up?
Doing good. It's fight week. I'm looking forward to hearing those predictions, and a lot to get into for a Wednesday.
I'm so scared to give my prediction, guys. I'll be honest. I don't know. It's gonna be a tough one.
Easy. Just stick with what I say. It's all been good so far.
Well, then let's get into it, guys. Let's get into the marquee fight of the weekend. Obviously, Canelo-Kovalev, one that everyone is talking about, one that everyone cares about. This weekend, there's other fights that are really good and competitive fights this weekend. This is obviously the fight of the weekend and one of the fights of the year, it seems, right? Like, this is going to be one of those fights when we talk about in December. It's one of the marquee events of the year, of the calendar of 2019, that when we look back, should sort of tell the story of what was boxing like in 2019. And Rob, thoughts on the fight? You know, obviously we're going to get into the X's and O's and predictions, but it's here. It's 3 days away now. Thoughts on the overall matchup itself and the hype around it?
I've just seen pictures of today's press conference and the face-off, you know, the height difference and things like that. So yeah, I think the intrigue is there. It's, you know, I know DAZN wants the Triple G trilogy, and you know, there's maybe other fighters out there, but Canelo has wanted a challenge. He's gone up to face. I know many will think Kovalev's maybe 1 foot out the door as far as his career, and you know, somewhat of a, I don't want to say cherry pick, but selective,
matchup.
We go to 175. He's picked
The older guy,
a champion that's maybe more ready than the others to take take the title off them. But no, interested and intrigued by it. It's certainly on my feed ramped up as far as awareness. Now Sky are involved and things like that. Sky have done a bunch of stuff regarding it. But keeping across it all, obviously DAZN are really pushing it. For me, the ones that aren't as much is Golden Boy's account. It's very but I've thought that about all of their cards. It seems the network always outstrips the actual promoters' accounts. You know what I mean? I've always thought that with Golden Boy. It seems very lackluster on their own social feeds, and it seems that everybody else does the promoting for them. But
that's a
not
shot.
in some cases.
Well, we're not even on that topic yet.
You said about about the awareness of it, and
but you're absolutely right about that. Gary, obviously you're in the Texas market, a market that Golden Boy does promote heavily in. Like myself in the LA market, another market that Golden Boy promotes heavily in. I've actually seen quite a bit and heard a lot of promo for this car. I mean, every time I step in the car, I hear a radio ad for it. Every time. So that's good that they're buying up at least radio time. I've seen some billboards for it. I've seen some bus stop ads for it. And the fight's not in LA. It's in Vegas. Obviously, trying to get people to go from LA to Vegas to watch the fight. But still, I've seen actually some good level promotion for it. Now, whether it's Golden Boy putting the money in it or DAZN, I don't know. I have seen it on my radar a lot in the last couple of weeks in this market that's near enough to Vegas to matter, and also a Golden Boy market. Gary, since you're in Texas, you're in Dallas, another Golden Boy market, have you been seeing a lot of promotion for this fight? Have you been seeing the hype for it, especially obviously in comparative, let's say, Canelo Jacobs, or even like Canelo Triple G, the rematch? Like what's the barometer out there for you since you're in a market that really you can tell, so to speak?
There was a lot of ads and a lot of movement for Canelo Jacobs, but I feel like there's probably more for this. But then when you said that, I feel like every ad and every commercial and every poster I've seen is all DAZN, not Golden Boy. Like, I'm just trying to think of that off the top of my head. I think most of the interest that has been drummed up by DAZN. There's a lot of DAZN advertising, at least I can't speak for the rest of the country, but where I am, there's a lot of DAZN advertising, period. Billboards, like city signs,
even TV ads, because TV ads are localized. I know people don't realize that, but a lot of TV ads are localized. So if you're seeing certain ads for certain things, let us know in the chat as well. I'm always curious, what is the marketing for a new brand like DAZN out there for? Again, this is probably one of their biggest fights of the year, and probably in pure a monetary sense, probably the most costly event of the year, right?
Yeah, I would think so. And I mean, again, every poster, every advertisement, every ad I've seen, I think it's been from DAZN. I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure Golden Boy has put something up, but just top of my mind, everyone I remember seeing is DAZN.
Rob, any thoughts?
Yeah, obviously that's, like you say, localized amongst you guys, but I've just felt this since getting involved and always looking for things, obviously for shows and things like that. I've just always felt Golden Boy's social accounts and their interaction just seems way lower than most.
Their presence, so to speak, right? Like,
yeah, and just getting it out there. I mean, I've got quite on good terms with the social guy at DAZN, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, I was just putting out a few posts, or I was just clipping out the stuff for the YouTube channel, and I was just." And he's like really responsive. He's got, if there's any questions, he fires back. And I see DAZN always like sharing fans' messages or just spreading the word, which I guess they have to do. Golden Boy's already an established name, but that doesn't mean you then just dial back, sit back. Oh, we're a big name. We've got Canelo. Well, there's push it out there for me. I don't know, but
I absolutely agree. But there's some realities to it. Obviously, DAZN is a multi-billion-dollar company. Golden Boy's not. Like, that does matter at the end of the day, in terms of the capital that you have to invest in certain products. Golden Boy doesn't have the capital that DAZN has in terms of investment. So that's sort of context I think that does matter in some degree. But I do think you're right that Golden Boy has struggled significantly to like modernize its approach to promoting, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
true, yeah.
Top Rank, I know Gary, you can probably speak on this, took a long time, it seems, to sort of update their system and how they operate. Like they didn't even have like social media accounts, and I know Bobby Arum didn't even have social media accounts for a long time. Now they do, and you can tell it's an emphasis on even Top Rank's side that this is an aspect of promotion. Golden Boy still seems in time of yesteryear where like social media, it doesn't matter. Online presence doesn't matter. For example, like I've heard a lot of radio ads for this card. I want to say those radio ads are coming from Golden Boy's perspective, to be honest. But that would be in line to Golden Boy's thinking in an archaic way. They're thinking radio ads. Guess what? The 20-year-old, mid-20-year-old person is rarely listening to radio ads. I do that because my aux port in my car is broken because I've had my car for 10 years. Okay? So I have to listen to the goddamn radio. Okay? But I think most people my age, most people are like the DAZN hopeful customer that they're looking for, right? The early 20-year-old with capital to sort of splurge. Even like maybe early 30-year-old with capital to splurge. They're not focused on radio ads or newspaper ads. That's not a thing that they care about. I feel like Golden Boy has always sort of angled that as their promotion when that is a archaic form of promotion in 2019. But digress from this, guys. Sort of quick take on, do you think this does more in terms of U.S. viewership than the Canelo Jacobs card?
Yes, I do, yeah. I think numbers would have grown by then since that card.
Just naturally speaking, it has to be, so to speak, because the
subscriber base. Yeah, I mean, and it's, I don't know. I guess the only thing will be for the East Coast guys, it will be quite a late start to the main event, maybe, that they're not quite so ready to tune into it live. But I guess to streaming apps, that's not really the main thing to get live. You know, that it's there the next morning as part of your subscription anyway. You can watch it back anytime you like. So, but yeah, I imagine this will do more than the, what was it, 600,000 or so
around there, yeah. For the US number, I want to say.
Yeah. So I expect it to do more. I think there's more maybe intrigue to this than whether it's a better quality fight than the Jacobs fight on paper at the time. I don't know, but I think just the sheer, size difference, the two weight classes, I think the intrigue might be there for people to want to go, oh shit, I want to see Canelo, see how he gets on against this guy, So yeah, I think it'll be a higher number.
Gary, before you jump in, I want to add that this card is being shown in movie theaters, which I'm curious to see what they do, what the sort of revenue they can generate from there. Because I want to say, like, even the Mayweather events on like Fathom events, right? They don't generate a ton of money, but they're generating an extra $3-5 million. So I'm curious to see what this would generate in terms of movie theaters, because obviously that's going to be geared towards an audience that wouldn't buy DAZN or maybe is too old to think about buying DAZN. Hey, go watch a Canelo fight in the movies, like old school back in the day. But Gary, do you think this fight is going to do bigger numbers for at least the live U.S. viewership than Canelo Jacobs?
Yeah, I think it'll do more, not because it's necessarily a bigger fight or a better fight, but because the zone continues to grow. So it's been June, July, August, about 5 more months. So it's going to have more subscribers. I think anyone who has the zone for boxing obviously is going to watch the fight. Then you're going to get the Canelo fans, like my neighbor who only watches Canelo fights, who's going to get the app and then drop it. Of course. So yeah, like it'll do well. I don't know what. If the other one did 600, I would say this does 750 to 800. Which, if it was a pay-per-view fight, if it was a $70 pay-per-view fight, what would you guess? 1.1, 1.2, something like that?
This was pay-per-view?
Yeah, if it was like HBO pay-per-view.
No, this wouldn't do $1 million.
You don't think it would do $1 million?
No, I mean, Canelo Cotto didn't do $1 million.
Canelo Chavez did $1 million.
Yeah, but barely. And Chavez is a bigger star than Cotto, I would say.
But Canelo is star continues to grow.
Yes, in a sense, but I mean, he hasn't done pay-per-view numbers higher than obviously the Mayweather card. So his peak numbers were when he was 21 years old. So obviously that skews everything.
That's Mayweather, right? But he's done.
It does skew everything. But to be honest, like it's hard to say that this would do more than Canelo Cotto and Canelo Chavez. I don't know if it would, to be honest. Kovalev isn't a star, guys. Like that's why I asked this question, because, and even like Rob brought this up in a way. He brought it more in terms of whether this fight is more competitive or is a better fight than the Daniel Jacobs fight. But I think it is, to be honest, just from the pure weight class disparity. It has to be a better competitive fight. However, in terms of which fight's bigger, Daniel Jacobs has been a U.S. sort of market, not draw because he isn't a draw, but he's been in the U.S. market his entire career, has done decent numbers in MSG. Kovalev had a heyday in HBO that vanished the second he lost to Andre Ward and never really returned. The numbers for the Alvarez rematch or even the first fight weren't that great. So I don't know if this fight's going to do more numbers than the Daniel Jacobs fight, because I don't know if Kovalev's a bigger star than Daniel Jacobs. I think it's pretty arguable.
I think it's close, which I think because it's close, the Zone just has more subscribers now, so it'll just have more viewers, right? Like I agree that Jacobs and Kovalev star are probably about the same, but the app is in front of more people now. It's more well known now than it was.
But you're asking about. You're switching the topic now because you're asking about pay-per-view. In the pay-per-view model, what would this have done?
Sure.
This would have done 500, 600,000, maybe 700,000 buys, but 800, 900,000, no. It would not have done close to Cotto numbers.
Don't you think at this point, if Canelo fought his grandmother, it would do 700,000?
No.
No? How much did he do when he fought?
Look, like no one's done that. Like no one's been that guy to where his base is 700,000. Mayweather's base was 300 to 400,000. There's numerous cards in his run with Showtime and HBO on pay-per-view. We did 450, 400,000. Even Pacquiao, there was times in his run where he did 200, 250,
had some bad
350.
Ones, yeah.
You know,
Jesse Vargas and Chris Algieri.
Brandon Rios, for example. You know, like there are, when you're a star, if you fight someone that's not a star, your numbers do dip. And even in like the UFC model, Conor McGregor, his numbers dip if it's not for certain guys. John Jones, for example, his numbers dip if it's with certain guys. It's just how it works. So I don't think Canelo-Kovalev does significantly better than Canelo Khan.
It probably doesn't. What did Canelo Khan do?
480.
Yeah. Okay. Then it wouldn't do $1 million. It'd probably do 600,000.
And to the point of like, is Canelo a bigger star, or is his star growing? Dwayne asking a good question in the chat, I think is somewhat relevant here. And we're going to get to the X's and O's of this fight in our predictions, I promise. We're going to talk about business a lot here. Does the Zone help or hurt Canelo's star quality given the lack of viewership comparative to, let's say, more broader networks a la HBO, right, when he was on HBO?
How many pay-per-view buys do you think Canelo Jacobs would have done? Around 600,000, maybe?
Yeah, probably around that. Yeah.
So about what people paid for a DAZN subscription to watch that fight anyway. So I don't know.
But it would make more money. That would be.
Well, yeah, but that's not to do with star
True.
potential or viewership.
But then when we talk about this, then we should talk about more like the machine behind them, right? I talk about that often, right? The machine behind someone. Obviously, DAZN is a massive machine behind fighters now, right? Is it better than the HBO machine in its heyday?
I'll be honest, I didn't really catch HBO in its heyday.
Gary, since you're the old timer US fan, you know, like, is it comparable? You know, in terms of promotion and marketing, from DAZN, the machine of the DAZN marketing team, to the HBO marketing team?
Back in the day, like Chavez Jr. pay-per-views, Mike Tyson pay-per-views, Evander Holyfield pay-per-views, there used to be a channel that just ran infomercials for that fight 24/7 the week before the fight. So No, it's not the same.
Well, let's not talk 90s then, and like that.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying.
the
Boxing was
silver
bigger
age.
then. Yeah.
Let's talk about, let's
many
say, the
fight-
late 2000s, the 2008 to 2015.
The Marquez versus Pacquiao pay-per-view era.
How many people have got HBO or did have or
It's
would have?
80 something million right now.
Oh, there you go. There's no way DAZN at anywhere near got the reach of 80 million. It's not a channel that people can just go click and I'm on. I know HBO isn't, that's still premium, but if 80 million people have got it, obviously there's a bunch of good TV shows, movies, this, and then there's obviously they carried the big stars in the boxing. So it's already automatically got steeped in history and everything like that. So
I would say though, DAZN does a better job than HBO or Showtime. Showtime didn't really have that many pay-per-views in the early 2000s. It's mostly HBO. I would say DAZN does a better job of getting their product out there than HBO did. And I'm saying that, and I took in more media in 2009 than I do today. And I see way more DAZN advertisements and banners and posters than I saw HBO do back 10 years ago.
Well, it's tough because it's just different. Because like DAZN is a pure sports streaming app, right?
It's
Like
true,
it's
yeah.
designed for only sports. HBO had Sopranos. It had
Sex in the City.
Oh my God. Great poll there, Gary. I
The
didn't know you were a
Wire.
big Sarah Jessica Parker fan, man.
variety. Yeah.
Variety. That was the point. I think it had The Sopranos
thought you
and The
were gonna
Wire,
say-
and it had Sex in the City.
Yeah, I got you, Gary. There's a bit of something for everybody, wasn't there, Gary? Or
There is certainly something out there for everybody. Absolutely.
Rubisky asking Matt, how many pay-per-views did Floyd versus Guerrero do? That did like 900,000 buys, I want to say.
It did right around 1 million. Yeah.
It did right around 1 million. Not 1 million, but did right under 1 million. But digressing, I think we can just get off this topic because it's a good discussion. For those in the chat, feel free to keep having that discussion. Like, does DAZN's marketing? I want to keep that clear here because the presence. I think Rob, like you put it clear. Like HBO has 80+ million subscribers. DAZN in the U.S. only has maybe 2, so clearly it's just not comparable. However, if you're talking about just marketing presence, when you're walking around bus benches, billboards, radio ads, TV ads, newspaper ads. What are you seeing out there? Are you seeing a lot of HBO ads, or are you seeing a lot of DAZN ads?
The thing is, I guess the difference is DAZN are a year in, and they've got to push it out there. They've got to make themselves known. If you are HBO, 80 million people or however many at that period of time, they just had to cut a promo and have it on HBO, right? And X amount of million people would tuned in and catching that promo. So they didn't have to be out there with food trucks and fucking banners and radio ads and this, that, and the other.
It's kind of built into the channel.
A lot of America had HBO anyway. So just run a promo across HBO day in, day out.
And you're good.
After first advertisement break in Sopranos or Sex in the City,
No, you're right. No, that's how it works.
Kind of doing it for themselves anyway. But DAZN have got to
do something else. They have to do
I
it.
think this is also part of as much as it's getting shit on, the KSI Logan Paul, because they've done their own videos and they've got the link to DAZN in their description. They're telling people how to tune into it. So I think this is almost more for marketing than it is for. It's making people aware of DAZN more than it is about. It's obviously not about we're getting quality fights on fucking DAZN, right? With KSI and Logan Paul. This is another way of, I think, getting DAZN out there. Because like I say, there's Logan Paul on Instagram stories saying swipe up and you're taken to DAZN. So they're having to do all this stuff just to get DAZN known by people, I think.
Agreed. In this sense, though, you kind of lost.
Anyway,
me.
who you picking?
You kind of lost me when you said KSI Logan Paul. Just because I hate that shit. Digressing though, let's get to picks and predictions here. X's and O's of the fight. Rob,
Gary,
Gary, what's your prediction for this fight? Break it down for me. Who wins and how?
I think this is a 50-50 fight. I think if you were to draw up someone who could beat Kovalev, it'd be Canelo. If you could draw up someone to beat Canelo, it would be Kovalev. That being said, I think Kovalev wins early rounds off of his jab, hurts him with the right hand. In the middle rounds, Canelo starts to get inside and the fight starts to even out. I think as it goes to the scorecards, Kovalev is simply trying to survive the body attack, but he puts enough early rounds in the bank where he takes a split decision.
Who takes a split decision?
Kovalev.
Somebody beats Canelo on points. What are you talking about, man? The cards are already in.
But which Canelo card?
Yo, hold on. Time out. Rob, okay, it's kind of an inside joke here, guys, but I hope you guys can follow. Rob, remember how you texted me in the group chat? Like,
yeah.
Yo, why would you want to pick against me, talking about yourself, right? And saying that because I want to pick, obviously, the opposite pick of you, Rob, so just for, argument's sake, so we can have a rivalry.
Yeah.
And you're like, why would you pick the guy that picked Flanagan over Prograis? And you know what? And then it dawned on me right when Gary made that pick. I'm like, you know what? I now know my pick. I'm good. Keep going, Gary. Explain your pick, though. I know my pick now. Thank you, Gary.
No, Rob was talking about the Canelo scorecards, and there's been Canelo scorecards, right? But like his last couple of fights, Adelaide Bird aside, and Adelaide Bird got the winner right. So, the Jacobs cards, 115, 113, 116, 112, perfect scorecards. The Triple G rematch, 114, 114, and then 115, 113 twice. Those cards are all perfect. So if there were bad Canelo cards in the past, they're in the past. We haven't seen we've seen one bad Canelo scorecard in his last bunch of fights. Like even you go to the Khan fight, the judges had it pretty close, and it was a pretty close fight by the time of the knockout. The judges, it's been a while since we've gotten really bad Canelo scorecards. So like I wouldn't let that detract me. Like if you think the cards already fell out in favor of Canelo, I would say look at his most recent fights. It hasn't been the case.
Okay. Rob, you want to give your prediction now? Yeah, you go.
And remember, Rob picked Luke Campbell to beat Lomachenko.
And I wasn't far wrong.
He won one round on one scorecard and 2 rounds on the other.
You were pretty far off. Let's be honest.
All right. But in recent so-called 50-50s, I've hit it on the head.
Last 2 weeks.
Viterbo
buddy.
by stoppage. What was the other one I got?
You can Prograis, Taylor.
Oh,
you can flip a coin and get heads twice in a row. It's not that surprising. Now, if you keep doing it, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, but you keep getting it wrong.
You can flip a coin twice and get tails, twice in a row. It's not that weird. Now, if you keep doing it, I'm going to start to think something's going on here. But go ahead, Rob.
One of those.
We're going to start thinking that Rob actually is like
might know what he's talking about.
I know what he's talking about.
But when one of those coin flips suggests that you're going to pick Flanagan over Prograis,
I can't breathe.
You've got a double-sided coin or something, Gary. You need to check out that coin you're using.
He didn't get stopped like Joshua got stopped with Ruiz. He went the distance.
That's fantastic. You say it's a 50-50 fight, Gary, but the bookies have got Kovalev as a plus 300, and Canelo is a minus 400. So
that tells me Kovalev's going to win.
David Price was a plus 300 against Derek Chisora, Gary.
There's not nearly as much action on Chisora Price as there is Kovalev and Canelo, but continue.
Anyway, bottom line, I think Canelo can get Kovalev hurt like Yard did. I don't see Kovalev making it out of the fight like he did against Yard. I just feel Canelo has shown me over and over again against big heavy hitters the ability to ride shots, to roll shots. Even though he looks like sometimes, I think it was against Jacobs, I thought he just ate a huge right hand from Jacobs, but in the slow motion you just see him turning it and just riding it, taking the edge off it. I think he's so adept at what he does in on a defensive side of things. And I think as providing Canelo gets inside that great jab of Kovalev's, Canelo is more than skilled enough to fire in combinations to Kovalev's body. And I think we'll see Canelo win with inside 9 rounds.
Canelo will win inside 9 rounds?
Yeah.
So you're going to stop him?
Yep.
Yes, that's what that means inside 9 rounds.
Yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure I heard that correct.
Let me just check. Is it a 9-rounder? Nope. It's
No,
12.
it's not.
And even then, it would be inside 9 rounds, so
Rounds.
you would still be.
Yeah, I say
it would still be. You'd still be right.
An 8-rounder.
Yeah, that'd be an 8-rounder.
Yeah. It's 7 rounds and an 8-rounder.
I guess I'm the deciding vote here on what MCR as a group is picking. And you guys know I've been waffling back and forth here because I think Gary and like you, Rob, made excellent points on as to how like this is a close competitive fight. Like Kovalev's jab, his size, his ability to land accurate shots, the fact that he is a decent combination puncher as well. Like I think we don't give him enough credit for throwing in combination as much as he does. He does throw in a lot of 2s and 3s and 4s. He's not really a single shot artist as I think some people want to claim he is. And you need to throw in combination to beat Canelo, like or any defensive boxer. Like you just need to throw in combination. And plus, I do think guys like Anthony Yard were really lucky to have the massive size advantage against Kovalev that they did. And that's not going to be a thing that Canelo has. Even guys like Eloy Alvarez, I think, had a size advantage over Kovalev. Andre Ward, a guy that, well, not probably bigger than Kovalev, is a guy that is bigger than Canelo, and significantly so.
He's also really strong. Like Ward's
Yes.
freakishly strong for somebody his height and size.
Agreed. And so I look at the game plan that all three of those guys set, in a sense. Obviously, not all of them were as successful with the game plan, but they all showed us how to give Kovalev issues. One, you have to press him. You have to get him on the inside. You have to smother that range that he likes to be in, that mid to long range where he can get his shots going, his straight shots off, because he is really a straight shot like puncher. He's not really a guy that throws in hooks or doesn't really have a good uppercut in his arsenal. Doesn't really throw to the body as much as you probably would like, speaking of Kovalev. But a jab, a 1-2, 1-2-1, a 1-2-1-1, like he's masters of that, You smother that work. And then also, a la what Beterbiev did against Vajic, you have to turn him. You have to. And if he's turning, you turn with him. You have to match him with that. And obviously, Canelo can do that. Like, with an issue, obviously, the Beterbiev-Vajic fight, we didn't know Beterbiev could do that. Canelo, we know he can do that. We know he can move with the guy moving laterally, a la the Triple G fight, the second one, in a way. Or even the Jacobs fight, for example. So if Canelo is able to smother Kovalev's range and his work, get on the inside, land his shots, and sort of bully him and keep turning him, then it's going to be Canelo's night for probably a decision. However, again, I want to emphasize the size matters. And this is a really hard fight for me to pick because I've been very vocal against guys moving up 2 weight classes. A la Canelo, a la Rigo Loma, a la Brooke Triple G, a la Mike Garcia, Earl Spence. Okay? I think all of those guys, the smaller guy moving up, had significant technical flaws that the other guy could exploit. And the other guy just happened to be 2 weight classes fucking bigger than him. I don't know if that's the case here. And that's why it makes it a really hard fight to pick. Because, like, from a principle standpoint, I want to go, well, Kovalev is bigger. And, like, just from a pure, like, historical perspective, it's rare that a guy moves up 2 weight classes like Canelo and wins. It's just super rare. It's not normal. But you look on that historical sort of precedent and you see that the guy moving up in weight class maybe wasn't the better boxer moving up. Maybe they had a specific style that the guy that was bigger could exploit to the fullest, a la Loma's lateral movement and Rigo's static movement, right? I think Kovalev doesn't really pose as much of a threat to Canelo stylistically as all those other respective historical references we can bring up. And that's why I'm going to pick Canelo. Because A, Canelo has obviously the technique, the style, and the obvious game plan in front of him to beat Kovalev. And B, I don't know if Kovalev has the necessary tools to exploit Canelo's flaws. And to be honest, I don't even know what would be Canelo's major flaw in this type of fight, other than just size, because he's a small middleweight in terms of height. Like Rigo had a significant issue in terms of lateral movement moving up. You could just see that even in the Donaire fight, for example. Mir Khan, chin issues. Kell Brook never faced a guy even close to Triple G's level that's not the case here at all. Guys, any thoughts on the X's and O's, predictions that any of us have made, any debate that we want to have about this fight before we move on to the undercard?
What's really tilted me in favor of Kovalev is the fact that the smaller guy loses, right? It's like when the bookies tell you the home team on Monday night, who's a favorite, always covers. Like, it's just a matter of fact. So, like, just the historical reference that small guys get beaten up by big guys tells me that Kovalev's going to win. I can see a perfect game plan where Canelo wins, but just historically, that's not the case, and that's why I'm going with Kovalev.
Historically, Canelo just beat Rocky Fielding, who was about a foot taller than him.
Yeah, Rocky Fielding's not good.
Oh, they have to be good and
yeah, they have to be good.
Then we get like Roy Jones, like John Rees scenarios, and it's like yeah, you moved up, but
yeah, two things.
It's John
First
Ruiz.
of all, it's John Ruiz, and second of all, ain't nobody Roy Jones Jr. Roy Jones Jr. is the GOAT.
He isn't, but okay.
No, I just wanted to clarify they have to be good as well as.
Yeah, you can't just be big, right?
Okay. Yeah, of course.
No, it's just you said historically the big guy always beats the little guy. That was all.
Do I really need to preface that like with they have to be good? Like,
look, Gary, this is a big fight. Some new person might be tuned in.
Like if Josh Taylor went up to 154 to fight Bradley Skeet, I'd pick Josh Taylor to win.
But if you moved up in 2 weight classes and fought, let's say, Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo, J-Rock, you'd be like, eh.
Yeah, exactly.
He just beat a 154-pounder anyway, so it doesn't matter. He could do it.
Stop, Rob. Stop.
On fight night. But yeah, very quick, Matt. Back to, I guess, sort of the business thing. I don't know if this was in the topics. I can't think. But the Pluto TV thing.
I have no idea what that is.
Huh?
I have no idea what that is.
Well, they're running the undercard on this Pluto TV, which has apparently got 18 million subscribers. And the main event is there for then people to sign up to the zone to carry on watching. So it's, I guess, again, marketing, trying to catch people, pique their interest with the undercard and whatever. But it's just
Gary, have you heard of Pluto TV?
I had no idea. I thought you were going to make fun of me for being like the old guy that didn't know what that was.
I have no idea. I have no idea what Pluto TV is. I have no idea what that is. Moving on to the co-main event. I think we're all good here, right? 2 picks for Canelo, 1 pick for Kovalev, but we're all think it's a competitive, fun fight.
What was your method of victory? I can't remember.
I'm lean decision. I don't think he gets him out there. I think Kovalev's tougher than we give him credit for.
But if Canelo catches him low, does he take a knee and quit?
No. I don't really think he quit against Andre Ward. I think Andre Ward was beating him up to the body, and body shots hurt like a motherfucker. Yeah. And again, Andre Ward is just significantly bigger than Canelo, and I think that's where we come into it. Where like strength and power is scaled. But co-main event, Ryan Garcia versus Romero Duno, in a fight that is probably going to tell us a lot about Ryan Garcia in terms of his future, at least. Like, if he loses to this guy in this fight, I wonder how that long-term Golden Boy deal pans out. The greatest contract in prospect boxing history, whatever the fuck that means. If he wins, though, this is a guy that his own promoter came out and said he is scared of. He doesn't want to fight this guy. And if he goes out there and beats him, and again, off the heels of this new contract he got from Golden Boy, man, Ryan Garcia has a lot of leverage in his next fight, even though he has a contract, but he just is in a position of power and leverage over Golden Boy that I don't think Golden Boy is ready for a guy that is only going to be 19-0 and that sort of thought experiment, and also a guy that probably still hasn't beaten anyone within the top 15 of his division. But guys, how do you see the fight going down? How do you see the fight affecting the Ryan Garcia-Golden Boy relationship?
You want me to go first?
Whoever's going to talk first. It does not matter.
I think Garcia wins by bogus decision. I think he gets beat up. I think he'll win some rounds. He's quick. He's got decent skills. But I think he gets worn down to the body. And I think he gets broken up. And we're going to watch the fight and be like, oh, it's an 0-1. And they're going to say, 118. Oh, is it a 10-rounder? It's a 10-rounder, right?
No, it's 12.
So
it's 12.
Oh, it's 12. So you're going to hear like 118, 110 for Ryan Garcia. You're like, what? What fight is this?
It is for a vacant. I can't believe this bullshit. Wow. It's for a vacant WBC Silver Championship.
WBC silver. You know who has the WBC silver at 147?
I don't know who.
Alessandro Riganucci.
Oh my God, rigatoni. I like how Gary thinks that somehow Ryan Garcia is going to get the benefit of like home cooking and like Oscar being in the judges' pockets, but Canelo's not. I think that's hilarious. But Rob, how do you see this fight going down? Ryan Garcia, Romero Duno.
I think Ryan Garcia will box his head off, to be honest. Ryan Garcia is like a minus 1,000. And Duno is a plus 550. Yeah, I mean, I'm saying this without seeing a lot of Duno, to be honest, but I think we'll see Garcia put on a performance. I think he'll look slick, sharp, fast, and treat this guy like Braulio.
I just wanted to address that contradiction too. There's so many times where you see a young fighter, Josh Greer the other day, get a decision he doesn't deserve, right? Like, I don't know why that is, but like I can name a ton of fighters.
No, I don't have an issue with that.
Okay.
That's not what the issue is. I understand why you think that. Why you think individually Ryan Garcia would get a bogus decision. I understand that completely. However, you didn't, or let's say we didn't see the main event last weekend of that card, which was Shakur Stevenson, Jarrell Gonzalez. We didn't see Shakur Stevenson get a bogus decision. You know what I mean?
Well, no, but there was no way you could score that fight anything other.
Oh, of course not. But I'm saying, like, yeah. I don't know, like, if it would be really hard for me to say or think that the co-main event would get the benefit of home cooking and some corruption that people want to dream up of and to hate on boxing more. But the main event guy, who's actually the star, actually the guy that matters to the promoter, they won't get the benefit of the doubt. I just think that's interesting. That's not normal. I've never seen that. I've seen all the A sides get benefits of the doubt on one card. You know what I mean? Like, I've definitely seen that, especially on like local cards, regional cards. You see that a lot of times. But I've never seen a big card where that's happened, where the inverse, where the main eventer got screwed over, even though you would think the promoter would have their back, air quotes, and the co-main event, the guy that's not as big as the main event fighter, they got the benefit of the doubt in the decision. That just is not normal, I would say. But digressing, my thoughts on the X's and O's of this fight. I think Romero Duno, he's in this weird situation where maybe because I'm right off the heels of Shakur Stevenson, Jarrell Gonzalez, or switching back to that fight. I'm thinking of guys that are tough, durable, almost undefeated, maybe have one loss on their resume, like regional guys that are supposed to give that undefeated, that promoter's like golden goose a tough challenge, but they've never really done anything. I'm starting to question those fights because I've seen a lot of times in recent memory where that person isn't that tough. A la Jarrell Gonzalez, Shakur Stevenson. So I don't know if we're in that situation where Romero Duno got the benefit of looking kind of good on some undercards, facing guys that we've never heard of, and then he's got built up in this matchup because of this whole drama that Oscar and Eric Gomez are out there saying, oh yeah, this guy is going to beat up our star prospect, and our star prospect is scared of him. I don't know if that's played some psychological effect where we now think Duno is this great prospect when he isn't. And on top of that, like you say, Rob, Ryan Garcia's boxing ability should be improving. He's a guy that, has a ton of athletic talent and ability. So when you have that, and you're in a great camp with Eddie Reneso and Canelo, you should be getting better. Like, just point blank. Like, you should be getting better. I'm hoping this is the fight where we see those improvements. Because the last fight, we kind of really didn't see those improvements. Hoping this is that one where we see it. And I'm kind of banking on that in a way. Because if he doesn't, let's say it's the same one that fought Jason Velez way back in the day. He sticks his chin up a lot. He stays static. Is limited in his arsenal. I could see Duno giving him issues. But I'm thinking he has made adjustments. He's a young guy. He's talented. And again, with that gym, with the talent around him, he should be getting better. Like, it has to at this point.
I wanted to bring one thing up on Cotto versus Mosley back in 2007.
Oh my God, Gary found our card to point out this case.
And Dan Rayfield calls it the worst decision ever. Casamayor in the co-main got a split decision victory over Jose. I don't even know this guy's name. Jose Santa Cruz. And then in a 50-50 fight, Cotto got a split decision over Mosley. So there's a guy where whatever. I found an example where the B side got the benefit of the doubt. Well, the A side got the benefit of the doubt in the co-main, and then the main event was scored completely reasonable. All right, moving on.
I don't know if that's a good case. I see it, but not really. What else is on this card? Oh, let's talk about this one. Sinisa Estrada versus Marlon Esparza, a really great women's boxing fight on this undercard. Probably the best other undercard fight. Honestly, it's the best undercard fight, period. It's better than the Ryan Garcia fight. I'm thinking Sinisa Estrada should win this one. She clearly is better than Marlon Esparza, in my opinion. She's more talented athletically. She has more KO power. I think she's obviously has way more experience than Marlon Esparza. Though Marlon Esparza had a great amateur run, highly touted. She's been pushed heavily. I'm really excited for this fight. I hope it gets a lot of push, even though I know Golden Boy is completely dropping the ball with it because it's fucking Golden Boy. Guys, any thoughts on this undercard bout between Sinisa Estrada and Marlon Esparza?
Yeah, I'll go with Estrada on this one. I think, I just think she's much better, personally. So, but it's good. This is, women's fights seem to be becoming a regular thing on a lot of boxing cards now, and that's only a good thing.
Agreed. Again,
as usual, we just want the quality, the talent, depth to grow within the sport. But, the likes of Shields, Taylor, all these other sort of fighters hopefully inspire the girls to dedicate and give themselves the opportunity to try and match these girls, and because I'm sure there's tough women out there. It's just a matter of honing some skills and putting it together. But it's good to see on big cards and big fight nights, and that the women have seem to have found quite almost a regular spot, whether it's early on in the card or even part of the main card or whatever. But it's happening. It's starting to get good for the women, definitely, as far as TV time, especially.
And I will add, let's look at what has happened in MMA. If you invest in women's sports, it flourishes. Look at women's football or soccer. If you invest in it, it does flourish. It's painfully obvious at this point. All you need to do is just have actual investment from the mainstream industry, in this case, boxing mainstream industry. So Matchroom, Golden Boy, PBC, Top Rank, ESPN, The Zone, Showtime, Fox, they all need to invest and promote women's boxing for it to flourish. If they don't, how is it going to flourish? How is it going to grow? It's impossible.
Very quick in the chat, Gary, did you write Alessandro Rigaccini's Wikipedia page on BoxRec? Dude has got a whole page.
No. No.
Wait, hold on. That's interesting because BoxRec wiki part where it's the biography is shit most of the time, right? I rarely use it. But if Rigatoni has a full on actual Wikipedia section on BoxRec for him, we all know that's Gary with a secret account, right?
Yeah.
Gary's looking at it right now, really?
I am. I went to look it up. Matt was right.
Yeah, that's what I would do if I was pretending I didn't know.
What was Mitt Romney's fake Twitter account name? Henry Delecto or something like that?
Yeah, it was good. Well, it was Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had a good one too. There's a couple really famous celebrities that have been caught with burner accounts. We know Gary has.
So this says 3D boxing or something.
But what's left on the undercard is not a lot.
Can I get in on the?
Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah,
sorry.
You totally skipped me.
Gary. We're talking about other things. I apologize.
We do know where Esparza is from, correct?
Texas.
So obviously, I'm going to take Esparza. I think this is a star-making performance. Because I know she hasn't been pro that long, she hasn't had that many fights, but I don't think she's young. I think she's probably older than Estrada.
I can look that up really fast.
She's not young. So I think this is kind of it. This is like her big shot, and I think we're going to have a star-making performance if she takes a close split decision.
She is older than Estrada by 3 years.
You wouldn't think so, right? Yeah.
But she's not that old. She's only 30. I mean, that's not that significant. She still has another
she does. Yeah.
5-10 years of a career left of her easily.
But if I would have asked you how old do you think Esparza is, you would have said 25, 26.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would have said mid-20s. She looks young, and plus, like you said, like she has a short career. So I mean, at this point, so it's hard to think that people that have 7 fights are 30. You don't think about it really. But moving on.
Is she 30 or just in her 30s?
No, she's 30, Rob. You fucking smart ass piece of shit. Guys, if only you out there, the listeners, knew what me and Gary have to put up with on a daily basis with Rob. Super chats, guys, for our pain, please. But there's really nothing else on the undercard that I want to bring up. You guys ready to move on?
There's nothing else.
There's like Blair Cobb.
It is a pretty shitty card, right?
It is. Backroom Matsurlayev fighting Jorge Fortea for a Eurasian Boxing Parliament Super Welterweight title. What the fuck is that?
Eurasia.
Holyfield's kid's fighting on.
Oh yeah, Evan Holyfield in his debut though, so it's like, dude,
and
gotta do your debut first before I talk about
he's
you.
the guy that they're all high on with the big hair.
Is that Backroom or Merlium or Blair Cobbs?
Blair Cobbs, yeah.
I mentioned him. I mentioned him already.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
I wasn't.
Yeah, he's decent, but I mean, these are all guys that like I need to see more of. Like, but I would say this, Blair Cobbs beating Fernando Carabon, that was a notable win for the regional scene out here in LA. So like I noticed that. So he's a guy that if he keeps moving forward, he's something to pay attention to for sure. Okay. Moving on though, next card up on ESPN, regular ESPN guys, not ESPN Plus. What, Rob? I know there's other boxing other than Canelo-Kovalev. I'm sorry.
No, I know, but in order of when I'm going to get to see it, it's clearly the Matchroom one, then Canelo.
In order of importance.
Oh.
This one has 2 world titles on it. Yours only has 1. Sorry. I'm just sorry, Rob. And also, it's just a bad card. Miguel Berchelt versus Jason Sosa on ESPN for Top Rank on Saturday. It's going to be competing probably head-to-head with everything else on Saturday. So good luck trying to watch everything. Also, Yorin Cajas versus Jonathan Rodriguez. Alex Acedo making his comeback from his loss to Maurice Hooker against Rod Salka. Ew, nasty as hell.
Can't wait for the shorts.
And that's about it for the card. Jose Rodriguez is on it. That's one of the Rodriguez brothers, right? Julian Rodriguez and Jose Rodriguez, right? That's one of the Rodriguez brothers.
Yeah.
They're talented prospects. That's about it, guys. Main event: Berchelt Sosa. This is gonna be one-way traffic, right? Like Berchelt should have his way with Jason Sosa here.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, but Sosa's a fun fight. I mean, he'll lose every round, but he'll land his fair share of shots. He'll put hands on him, Rob. But he'll lose almost every round and get stopped, I would think.
I don't know if he's going to really put hands on Berchelt that much. I mean, yes and no. I mean, obviously, Berchelt's not a defensive wizard, but I mean, he is still a good technical boxer. I mean, he outboxed Francisco Vargas, who was an Olympian, for God's sake.
Sosa's a plus 900, man.
He's not going to win. No one picks him to win.
No. He's not winning at all. But he might even get like outclassed here. Like this might be a sign of, hey, Jason Sosa, you've been around for a while, haven't done much, and that's a sign that, hey, you clearly hit a ceiling. And Berchelt's just been destroying guys for a while here.
He's made some decent money because he's been on HBO a bunch of times. Now he's on this card. Like Jason Sosa's.
Oh, he
fought Walters. He fought Lomachenko.
He's a perennial top 10, 15 guy in the division. Yeah. Absolutely. Like credit to him. But like clearly he should lose this fight and he might win. He might lose it in devastating fashion here because I think stylistically this is the wrong fight for him. So we're all in agreement there. We don't need to go too in depth there. But what's next for Berchelt? He's in this weird stance. Is it Oscar Valdez next?
Yes, I think so.
I think so.
Is that what we want, though?
Shakur Stevenson said if he goes up to 130, he wants Berchelt, which I would give me that fight.
That would be amazing. I would take that. And Berchelt beats Oscar Valdez, right?
Doesn't Shakur want to fight Josh Taylor?
No. Josh Warrington.
I'm joking.
You mix up the Joshes.
No, I'm not. I'm just making jokes at kids that want to jump up divisions. And
hey, at least that's only one division.
Shakur Stevenson going up to 130 is going to happen sooner rather than later, right? It was like when De La Hoya was like he ain't going to stay there much longer. Like his days of 126 are.
And let's be honest here. If you had to pick who would win in the Gervonta Davis going to 140 and fighting Josh Taylor, or Shakur moving to 130 and fighting Berchelt, I'm picking Shakur over Berchelt before I ever pick Davis over Josh Taylor. I'm never doing that in my life. Oh my God. What was he thinking? Yurin Cajas fighting Jonathan Rodriguez. I mean, he should also get an easy win here, in my opinion, though. And Cajas has not looked that spectacular as of late, to be honest.
No.
So, Gary.
Yeah.
No, I take in Cajas. I mean, he hasn't looked great, but this is a fight he should win.
Yeah. Other dudes like plus 600.
They were trying to sell him as the next Pacquiao. It just like
I can't believe they tried to do that.
Yeah, I mean he's good. It's just like he's not like special. Like he's not gonna run up through this division and then move up. Like he's a good fighter, but I don't even think he's in the top 3 in his own weight class.
He's Filipino. That's why they
and a southpaw.
And a southpaw, yeah.
Oh yeah, that helps. They didn't have to say he's the next Pacquiao. Just
right-handed, yeah.
Yeah.
And
he's the right-handed Manny Pacquiao.
Alex Acedo destroys Rod Salka, right?
I hope.
Yeah, I hope.
These are two of my least favorite boxers. I just hope that.
Yo, why? Oh, Oklahoma. That's right.
Yeah, because he's from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That Texas-Oklahoma beef runs deep.
Is that just football?
I feel like this card is gonna be entertaining, but it's gonna be really one-sided. We can just move on. Also on Saturday night in the U.S. Sorry, Rob.
Are you not doing the one on Friday?
It's not. Oh, you mean the Showtime card? No, I'm not gonna break down that. There's the Matchroom card on Saturday, which we're gonna get to. Don't worry.
Oh, Brian Castano fights, right?
Yeah, Brian Castano versus Wally Almertosa and Javier Fortuna versus Jesus Cuellar, which is the eliminator for Devin Haney. Also, a couple of the Gary Russell brothers are fighting on it. Patrick Harris is on the card. He's been undefeated prospect forever. When's he going to take a step up? That's about it in terms of notable names on the card. Any thoughts?
Yeah, who did Devin Haney pay off to get a belt and then get that as his mandatory? Like who does he have in his back pocket?
I just think the WBC just sucks.
Let's not forget, Carl Moretti said we asked the WBC to make Lomachenko the franchise champion.
Yeah. That's nasty.
Do we have the judges yet for the Kovalev Canelo fight? Have they announced that yet?
Yes. Hang on. I put it in the chat a while back. Gary, this is old, man. You got it.
But anyways, while you're looking that up, I'll talk about the actual card and the topic, guys. Thank you. Brian Castano should win this fight relatively easily. While Wally Almertosa is a fun fighter, an action fighter, Castano is that, but an actually like good boxer too. So he should be able to like outbox through the firefight, so to speak, with Wally Almertosa and win a rather fun TKO within 6-8 rounds, probably. And Javier Fortuna is just far too big for Cuellar. Cuellar is a featherweight, for God's sake, moving up to lightweight for this fight. Fortuna is a guy that could probably even move up to welterweight, or if not welterweight, and take some fights if he really wanted to. Fortuna is just too big, too strong, and honestly, I think he's probably even a better boxer than Cuellar. He should win this fight and then fight Devin Haney next on a DAZN card, because that makes the most sense in the world at this point in time, because it's the eliminator. Gary not having his phone on silent. Way to go, Gares.
Gary, do you want the judges and the official?
Yeah, who are the judges?
You know who the official is, right? The ref?
No, I don't know.
Russell Mora.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Tony Weeks was included, but I think Kovalev's team didn't want Tony Weeks. Did he referee the Ward match or something?
Yeah.
Okay. The Nevada State Athletic Commission approved Julie Lederman, Dave Moretti, and Don Trella.
Those are all great names, guys. If you cannot sense my sarcasm, please understand that's pure sarcasm. Those are all awful names.
Moretti and Julie Letterman are awful.
And if you don't realize the last names, realize the last names and the connections that they have.
Moretti has worked each of Alvarez's past 4 fights in Las Vegas and 8 of Canelo's previous 9 appearances.
Dave Moretti's a big-time judge. Like, he does all the big fights in Vegas, I want to say.
He's been okay recently, but he's, for my money, the worst judge in the sport. At least have big-time judges.
Trella has only worked 1 of Alvarez's fights, and Lederman will judge her first fight involving Alvarez.
Yeah, because she usually does East Coast stuff, like New York and New Jersey and stuff.
Yep.
Trella scored the first Alvarez-Golovkin bout, the draw.
Who scored the draw?
Trella.
Okay.
He scored 114 in the first one.
It's wrong, but that's whatever.
I mean, it's. Yeah. I don't want to say I scored it for Canelo. I don't want to say.
Rob, what happened
again?
Robert.
Again, he got that trick.
Oh, hey, bro.
He's gone again. He's had it. He's had it with the scorecards of Canelo. Because it's like probably the first time he's outnumbered by people who think Canelo won the first fight, and he can't handle it.
He just can't. Gary. While we're waiting for Rob here, Gary, any thoughts on the Brian Castano card, Javier Fortuna, and obviously Haney Fortuna next being the most likely fight? How do you see that fight going down?
I mean, I think Haney wins, but Fortuna's always a good test. Like, no matter what, Fortuna, as long as he makes weight, which is always a problem, especially 35, I think Javier Fortuna is a good step. I don't want to say step because he's a champion now. It's a good fight for Haney. It's a good test, but I think Haney passes that test. You know.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
It's one of those fights that should have happened before he even had a belt around him.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's a good fight before you fight for a title, not after you win a title, which I guess he didn't really. Before you're given a title. The WBC told me that my belt is in the mail too. They're gonna send me a title.
That's cool. I like how they send you it, but not like the pound for pound actual #1 host on MCR. It's whatever. It's cool.
I'm gonna be the.
Are you like the silver champion and I'm the franchise?
The regular.
Oh, you're the regular. Okay.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be ironic if Matt was offered the franchise champion? Would Matt take it? Would he stand by his morals?
If it came with a giant check, my morals are going to the side.
My
guys.
morals, my integrity is for sale.
It 100% is. Promoters, Eddie Hearn, PBC, anyone. This podcast is 100% for sale. You think I'm joking? I'm not.
He's not. But Barry, if Devin Haney has got a tweet for you, if you don't think I deserve it, come see if you can take it.
Unfortunately, we're not in the same weight class, so
you can fight him. He can fight you 3 times.
Moving on. Katie Taylor's fighting this weekend on a DAZN Matchroom card. Earlier on Saturday, obviously in the U.S., regular time, prime time, obviously in the U.K., against Christina Lenarditu. How many say it? Lenarditu. Is that really how you pronounce it? Where's she from?
She's originally from the Dominican Republic, but she's been in Greece for forever.
Okay. I don't know much about her, to be honest. I know she was supposed to fight, or she did fight. No, she did fight Defon Pursoon. That's right.
Yeah, lost every round basically to
Defon. She didn't look good. She did beat Alicia Baumgartner, which is a decent win, but it's not enough for me to go, oh yeah, you're gonna really give Katie Taylor issues, especially when we saw Pursoon have the style to give Taylor issues. But hey, who knows with this matchup? Rob, thoughts?
Yeah, obviously Taylor looking to become champion in a new weight division. But I think Lenarditu is quite all action. I think she'll bring it to Taylor, but I think Taylor will just prove to be too slick and pick her off. I think she's the poor version of Pursoon, who obviously brought that pressure in New York on the Joshua card. But I think Taylor will come away with this quite comfortably. Yeah, but I think the plan is to then go back down, because Taylor weighing in for this, she's not going to be much over the lightweight limit anyway. Even though it's a 140 fight, she's going to be like 137 tops. I think she's barely going to be putting anything on for this fight.
Yeah, I don't think Katie Taylor's going to have any problems. I just don't like fight at 135, because she's not really even a 135 pounder, right? She's really probably smaller than that. So like, I guess if you can win, like, why not? But like, just stay at your own weight class. Just
Come on, she has to move up for the Celia Brækhus fight, man.
She can stay at 135 and fight Selena Barrios.
She's going to go back down to fight Serrano.
I can't believe Gary has the gall to when I go, hey, yeah, she wants to go fight Cecilia Brækhus, the undisputed welterweight champion, the pound for pound #1 women's boxer right now on the planet. And he's like, yeah, but she can go fight Selena Barrios, who's done nothing in her career at this point in time.
But she's not in Brækhus's weight class. Like, they're not the same size. Like,
look, look, we have to just come to terms that the parameters of men's championships and how we want men to clean out a division is not the same in women's divisions, because women's divisions don't have the depth. We have to come to that realization. In order to create interesting fights, interesting matchups that will cause public reaction, public interest, will cause other little girls to take up boxing, you need to make up creative fights, a la Taylor Brækhus, a la Shields Brækhus, a la Shields Hammer, which was at a weight class that Shields was not at originally. You have to make these interesting fights. Or even Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, those fighters aren't in the same weight class, but you have to make that fight. Why? Because those are names that we care about.
Amanda Serrano's in every weight class. When you said little girls to take it up, don't be too little, because Amanda can suck down. She's pause.
Yeah, that pause.
Yeah.
You mean that. But anyways, I think, Gary, you have to, this is an unfortunate reality of the depth of women's boxing. To create fun matchups, you have to do these crazy weight jumps at times.
What did Serrano go down to? Like 115 or something?
For Hardy?
No.
Oh, it's overall.
Before Hardy, she picked up about
I think it was 115.
Yeah. And then she back up to 135. Oh no, 126 for Hardy, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Was it for Hardy's featherweight title?
Yep.
And it's going to be Katie Taylor at 135 or whatever.
And then she's probably going to have to go right back down to 118 or something and fight the winner of the fight coming up this weekend, Esparza Estrada. Like, that would be a great fight for her, but she's going to have to suck back down and wait. Why? And that's just the nature of women's boxing right now. It sucks. It's unfortunate. But that's how they have to make big fights.
Depends how she comes out of her MMA fight, right?
Who?
She's Serrano.
Oh, yeah.
I think she announced that ages ago, but once Taylor announced her fight moving up, it was, she's running away. I'm going to go and do my own thing. Yeah, we already announced you were going, so.
Anyways. Moving on. Anthony Corolla on the card as well. Rob?
Yes?
Thoughts on Anthony Corolla coming back from the Lomachenko loss?
All right, okay. Yeah, look, it's his last fight, last dance, whatever.
Is this for sure? Like, he has come out and said this is it?
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
Cool. Yep. Good for him, man.
Expect...
And this is in Manchester. I'm happy, man.
Yeah, it's going to... Although Taylor's the main event, I think they are going to put Corolla on last and just...
Oh, really? You think so?
Yeah, I think it's going to be... It could be quite a motive if he takes his gloves off, leaves them in the ring. It's going to be a hell of an atmosphere, and that's what I know. People are saying this card's shit, but this is just a farewell for Anthony Corolla in front of a very loyal hometown crowd. He kind of, I guess, didn't pick up quite like the Ricky Hatton following, and but he was like the next guy, right? He kind of took that wave, and I've been around him a couple of times, and he just seems like the nicest guy, considering he's like gets in the ring and beats people up or whatever. He's a fighter. He's actually he's just such a great guy, and considering fractured skull and fucked up when he assisted trying to catch those the burglars, he came back despite losses early in his career at different levels, he went on to get a world title. And he's been in there with like Linares, went 24 rounds with Linares. And this is a guy that puts it, gets that high guard up and tries to get about his work. Quite basic in a way, but he managed to reach the top and try to really mix it with the elite. But after Loma, I think he battled with himself. He didn't want to go out like that. He wants to fight. I think he wanted maybe a slightly better opponent, so it wasn't just like, hell, here's a guy to just sort of knock over. But I think they were trying to make a Tommy Coyle fight. I think they might have both retired at the same time, depending, But that never came through. But shout out to Qualla. I'm sure he's going to come away with a win, and it'll be an emotional night. I'm sure. Be plenty out. There won't be too many dry eyes, I think, in the building. But shout out to him, getting one last in the hometown in the big Manchester arena.
Also, Martin Piccoli, Alunga on the card, and is this the guy that you mentioned the other card the other week that I should have watched? And I didn't actually go back and watching. Had like a good knockout on the undercard. KS Shafik. The chef?
No.
Okay.
You should watch him though. Yeah, no, he's good. But he was on a Frank Warren card. Oh, I forgot his name.
Okay. Sorry, guys.
If something pops up, I'll bring that up. But
thank you for that.
as a fact,
Gamal Yaffe is on this card as well. Obviously, Cal's brother. Terry Harper's on the card. Who else?
She's in a good fight. She's in with defending a, I don't want to say it out too loud, IBO belt. But against
just to the IBO, not to you.
Come on, be a bit snappier with it. I'd nearly finished my sentence.
I'm
sorry. Production. Come on.
Sorry.
No, she's fighting the girl that put it on Natasha Jonas.
Yeah.
In that fight. So
Viviane
Obanoff. Yeah. She's quite feisty, quite come forward. Throws a heap of punches. She landed some flush ones on Jonas, and that wasn't a nice watching Jonas that night. But Terry Harper can hit hard as well. Trust me, she's going to be one to watch.
Can we go back? There's going to be that many, sad people, emotional people over Anthony $1 Million Crawler retiring.
Yes, Gary.
Yeah, he was beloved in Manchester.
But that's like, Peter Kid Chocolate Quillen is retiring. Oh, let's all break down. It's like, okay. I mean, he had a good career. He was a good fighter. But, you should.
I wouldn't expect you to understand being an American boxing fan, Gary, all right?
Matt, if Devin Alexander retires, are you going to break down? When Randall Bailey retires.
To be fair.
That's a bad example.
Devin's a really bad example because Devin's like a really awful human being.
He's an awful Devin Alexander is?
Oh yeah, like he's a super anti, he's super homophobic, like really bad, like really vocal about it too. All
right, fine. Randall Bailey, he was beloved. Everyone liked watching Randall Bailey fight. When Randall Bailey retired, you're like, oh, I can't keep myself together. Randall Bailey is retiring. It's like, okay, Charlo was a good fighter. Like I was a fan. I thought he was good, but if that's breaking you up, I don't know. I mean,
look,
you need to go sit on someone's couch and tell about what's really going on.
Americans barely support boxing as it is, so I wouldn't expect you to understand. All right.
Gary telling people to go see a therapist if they cry over Anthony Crawler retiring. It's the best thing that anyone has ever said on the show. Thank you, Gary, for that. That was so funny.
It's ridiculous.
That was so good. It's true.
I just wouldn't expect you to understand, Gary. It's fine.
I'll put it this way: like Kobe Bryant, somebody that I've watched my entire career. I didn't cry. I didn't cry when he retired. I stood up and applause.
Kobe Bryant, one of the best to ever do it, right? Who won?
No, but that's
five championships.
But Gary, that's what I'm saying. Like even Kobe Bryant, a guy that I grew up, Laker player his entire career. Somebody that when I was born, he was basically a Laker player. I didn't cry. Stand up and gave him a standing O, but
you're like fucking basically got a fucking stone in your fucking chest.
I am heartless.
It would be like if Robert Horry retired. Like Robert Horry. It's like he hits some big shots. He's a good player. I mean, we're gonna go on. We'll be fine.
We're gonna go on. We're gonna be fine.
Oh my god. So no sporting moment has ever got you.
I
like,
didn't say that. I said a
All
pretty
right, so there
good
you go.
guy
What
retiring.
did you
It's
get
not.
emotional about? What sporting event did you get emotional at, Gary?
I don't know.
That
Shane,
one that one track and field event that like in the 90s or 80s when the guy like his dad came and helped him to the finish line. That gets me every time. I don't know when it was, but you know what I'm talking about.
Shane Mosley beating Margarito got to me. That was a good one. Holyfield beating Tyson, in the first fight.
There's never been a fight that's made me cry, guys.
No, it doesn't make me cry. But like those were ones that like stuck with me. Like those are moments I remember.
Or fighter.
That's not even what I didn't ask you. What you can.
Yeah,
remember.
no sporting event is gonna make me cry, Rob. Like
Sport doesn't get you like that. You're fucking weird. You like it's weird.
Not necessarily. Like no.
Yeah, you're weird.
Not
Do you even like sport?
Yeah, but like crying.
Sure. Not like that. You don't. You're weird.
There's definitely times like I've been like saddened by a story, obviously, but like crying, no, I don't know. It have to be like a really dark story to make me cry. But anyways, digressing.
Why would it be dark?
Because it would have to be like shit. It would make me sad. You know, like people retiring is not sad. Like that's just a part of life. You know, like people retire from their careers.
Pernell Whitaker died. Like that made me sad, but that's like somebody dying. That's not somebody like Anthony Crowell didn't die. Like he's just retired.
Good example. Obviously, we had on the show just what was last
Patrick Day.
Patrick Day. Like I was tearing up, you know. But that's very different than somebody just retiring from the sport voluntarily, so to speak.
I just don't understand how the theater, the drama, and that of sport can't get you like that. I don't understand it.
It can get me emotional, but not crying. No.
I don't like a dry eye. I don't know.
You want the dry heave? Want the
dry heave? That's like.
Yeah, you're right. That's right. The dry tears. You want the dry tears?
I've never watched sport and gone.
There's been some times.
Oh, I see. You're even more
digressing. KSI Logan Paul.
You're going. I don't know what you're talking about.
And I'm going to be dry heaving the whole time. Digressing, though, we have one more card to like briefly talk about. There's a Showtime card on Friday in Las Vegas with Richardson, Hitchens, Xavier Martinez, Ava Knight, and that's about it for people that I recognize, to be quite honest. Dylan Price, I vaguely remember that name.
Are you just getting two English heavyweights mixed up?
No, I thought about that. I'm like, no, I definitely remember Dylan Price. But I think I remember just seeing him on undercard, not really seeing him fight. But that's about it for fights this weekend, guys. Most of it's on Saturday. Any last thoughts on fights before we move on to like actual news? Holy shit.
No,
we're good.
Just an emotional weekend.
It did. I might cry, man. It's tearing me up, man. Moving on, though, still sort of on the topic of Canelo, though, switching back to it. The whole Canelo Golden Boy beef does not seem to be going away. Yesterday, for the grand arrival, right? Yesterday was the grand arrival, right?
Well, I don't know if it was that grand because Oscar wasn't there.
Well, yeah, that is 100% true. Yes, per Lance Pugmire. No Oscar sighting at the grand arrival, ... And then Athletic made or posted an article via Mike Coppinger today with the quote, "There's no loyalty. We see it now," from Canelo Alvarez regarding Oscar De La Hoya. And the full quote, let me read it. Here it is. Let's get some dramatic music out, some gunshots, all the good shit. Per Alvarez, speaking of De La Hoya, you can see there's no loyalty in him. He changed trainers during his career. He changed managers in his career. So there's no loyalty. That's the way he is. We see it now. I'm a very loyal person. And we are a very loyal team. We're still together. But you can see there's no loyalty in Oscar. There's only one thing I have to say. Very ungrateful. He has to remember that his first world champion in Golden Boy stable was Oscar Larios. And obviously Oscar Larios was trained by Eddie Reneso, and that has been a point of contention between them. So, as Rob is jumping out and jumping back in, it seems, again, let's talk about this whole, Rob, it's you, not us. by the way.
I don't know what's going on. It's fucking shit. This fucking.
Are you
light.
connected via Ethernet or just Wi-Fi?
Ethernet?
Okay. You hesitated there.
I had to check.
But digressing, obviously, the beef between Oscar De La Hoya and Canelo seems to be growing. Oscar De La Hoya was there for the press conference today, but it seems like Canelo made no mention or reference to him, did not look at him at all, and literally did not make eye contact, gesture, nothing towards Oscar's direction. So, guys, thoughts on the dissolving relationship between Canelo and Golden Boy Promotions and Oscar De La Hoya, and this story that does not seem to be going away. Gary, I know you had some thoughts on it.
It's like once you start really considering if I should get a divorce, you're already there, right? Like this relationship is over, right? Like, I mean, seriously, and it's all Oscar has. So like, and I don't mean this to be funny. Why isn't Canelo buy himself out of the Golden Boy portion of his contract? Golden Boy, Oscar take the money, pay the employees, take the rest of the money, and just retire, quit boxing. And he lives in San Juan. Just go enjoy the rest of your life. Like, because his heart's not in this. He has a million problems, like, in all seriousness. Like, he's ran Golden Boy into the ground the last 5 years. Canelo's always got, and he's losing Canelo. So just let's split. You go your way, buy yourself out of the contract. I'll pay off the rest of the Golden Boy employees. You know, Lamont Roach and Linares and Munguia and Virgil Ortiz, they'll be fine. They'll sign elsewhere. And let's just go on. I'm done with this promoting thing.
I will say, though, in line with our conversation the other day about could Al Heyman help Terrence Crawford buy out his top-rank contract, right? The modern sort of inflation of fighter contracts, I wonder what the buyout number would be for Canelo with Golden Boy Promotions. It has to be high. Right now, obviously, it's not the 36+ million. That number's from DAZN, right? So that's not the number we're talking about here. But whatever that contract is, whatever that number is, it's a lot, I'm assuming. And I wonder if he has sort of the liquid capital, so to speak, to spend on that, to buy himself out of the contract. The other path would be litigation. And look, maybe he has a leg to stand on. I don't know. Because from what we've seen in the past few years with boxers that have gone through this process, they've kind of been lucky in some times. Andre Ward, rest in peace, but Dan Goossen passed away. So that kind of whole litigation went away because of that, right? Andre Ward lost 2-3 years of his prime, but he could have lost a lot more. You know, Dan Goossen just happened to pass away. Mike Garcia got kind of lucky that Top Rank gave up on him and just said, hey, you can just go. Because he, wasted 2 years?
Two plus years, yeah.
I don't know if I want to see Canelo go through that, even though he could. He's 29 years old. You know, he comes back at 31 years old. You know, he's fine. But that's a process I would assume Golden Boy would try everything to keep him there, unlike other fighters and other situations we've seen recently. And plus, in terms of the buyout figure, I would say it's a lot more than what Mayweather probably had to buy out his contract for, which was the biggest steal in boxing history. I mean, Gary, I know Rob's looking at something right now. You brought it up. Do you think that it's actually monetarily feasible for Canelo to buy out his contract, or would litigation be the more realistic path for him?
I mean, litigation is more realistic, except that he's too. I guess Floyd quit for 2 years when he was this age. I guess it would hurt boxing bad though, because Canelo's really. I know there's still Pacquiao and Joshua's going to get knocked out again, right? So it's like Canelo really is the only superstar left in the sport. So if he wants to take 2 years off or whatever, however long it would take, well, Golden Boy without 2 years without Canelo, they would go bankrupt. You would think. So I mean, they would have to figure something out, right?
Yeah.
I mean that might be a quicker process because Golden Boy. You know, Top Rank wasn't starving when Mikey Garcia wasn't fighting. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need to settle something quickly.
I agree. The parameters of Canelo and Golden Boy makes it far harder for Golden Boy just to sort of let this go in a sense. Rob, I know you're looking at something on your phone. I know you sent something about better be even Canelo. But thoughts on Canelo, Golden Boy, Oscar, the rift between them?
Yeah, it's shit's got real, right? He's out there saying uh Oscar's not loyal. You can tell what kind of a guy he is, and that's not good. That's like
Those are fighting words.
Huh?
Those are fighting words.
Yeah. That's like, Joshua coming out and really saying Eddie's this, Eddie's that guy. He's
It would
done
be the
this, he's done
equivalent.
this. Like, I want to. You imagine if Joshua was out here saying, "Show me the books" and all this crap. It's
Oh, Rob.
But like
Rob
when I
heard
was
us yesterday.
when I was at the Virgil Ortiz fight in Dallas, Oscar wasn't there. Period. He wasn't at the weigh-in. He wasn't at the fight. He wasn't there. Like, could you imagine if Eddie wasn't at one of Devin Haney's fights, or if Bob wasn't at Shakur Stevenson's fight? It's like, what are you doing? This is your future. Like, I don't know. Like, Oscar doesn't want to do this anymore. Like, I think that's clear to me. What do you think, Rob? Are you gonna stick around?
I don't know what's going on. This shit's fucked up.
I just hold on, Rob. You know what I think this is? I think this is the universe saying like, Rob, you were too much of a smart ass when you're making fun of Gary's internet. So we're gonna make sure you have some internet issues.
Yeah, it's like Gary's presence has sent some fucking
Virus to you.
virus.
When I yelled at AT&T the last time, they fixed it. I did that check your speed test. It was at 116. I'm good. There's not
good.
There are not going to be any more issues. I took care of AT&T.
Yeah, you did.
The way Gary says, "I'm gonna take care of it," is so Italian mafioso.
Yeah, that's
terrifying.
that's like, was it Pulp Fiction? I've got to take her out on a date. You got to take her out, like, took care of it.
But Rob, you were saying you didn't say much before you cut out. I'll be honest.
No.
So Canelo, Oscar, the rift between them. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I was saying, like, if Joshua was out here spilling shit on Eddie and saying,
be
"No,
insane.
this guy's," it'd be huge, right? So yeah, this is big, and that you can't even acknowledge the dude when he's on the stage with you, and I don't know, it's really bad. And even the Eric Gomez text message to Coppinger was like, "Look,
let me find it. Let me find it.
Yeah, I can read it out.
I have it somewhere too. You keep talking. I'll find it.
No, I've got it right here. Part of the Athletic article, it said, after exchanging text messages with Golden Boy Promotions spokesperson, the Athletic emailed and attempted to reach him over the phone, but he didn't reply. Additionally, Gomez did not respond to an interview request, but sent a text message that read, "I'm interested in promoting the fight. If you want to help us promote the fight, I'm game. If you're going to keep attacking us and creating controversies, you're on your own. So I'll give you an interview as long as you're going to help us promote the fight. But if you want to sit here telling everybody what's actually happening, go fuck yourselves. You're not talking to me, or I'm not talking to the Athletic." But
that is so nasty from Eric Gomez.
yeah, I don't know, right? It's bad.
Like, and you should. The amount of times I've been told, like, "Yo, promote the fight. Like, promote the fight. Stop complaining about it. Stop criticizing it. Stop doing whatever. Promote the fight." When I'm not the promoter, I would be a billionaire by now. I would be like Len Blavnik and be able to buy the zone. Okay, that's how much money I would have if I had $1 for every time somebody said, "Yo, just promote the fight." If I had a manager, an agent, a promoter, a network exec, the amount of times I've had someone tell me that, I would be a billionaire. Oh,
If I had £1 for every time you over exaggerated.
That was weird. Whoa, guys, I don't know what's happening here. We seem to have some issues. All right. Let me see. What the hell just happened there? Let me try to fix it as we speak. Sorry about this, guys. Wow, if we have to end the show this way, I deeply, deeply apologize. At least I'm here, right? Hey-oh. And let me know in the chat, guys, if I'm still here. It says I'm still here, but I just want to make sure that that is not the case. Oh, hey. Okay, I think. Oh, damn it. Wow, we're having some major issues here, guys.
It's just me and you, Gary. Oh, what the fuck?
Okay, hi, Rob.
The fuck is going on? Was I live or was not, or what happened?
The whole like light stream system crashed. So, lunatic Eric Gomez has hacked the stream.
Yeah, look, this is why you're not in Vegas right now, Matt. This is why you're not credentialed. You said out there Oscar was nasty.
I'm just saying there's a reason why we were credentialed for the press conference and not the fight. Look at all the reporting we did post the fight, or post the press conference. Gary's back. Let's try to fix everything here, guys.
Gary's been in and out like crazy in the last 30 seconds.
Gary?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just I thought it was Rob's internet. It's not the internet. I mean,
no, it's definitely no. It's Lightstream is having some issues. So
yeah. So take it back, bitches.
You give me their number. I'll take care of Lightstream. We won't have a problem with them again.
Gary's terrified.
Get your shit. There's a button here for support.
No, and actually they're very supportive in a way. Like they're like really quick in terms of response. I'll tell them like, hey, you guys are really fucking up.
They should send a super chat right now.
They're very supportive. They give you a big hug and they tell you you're doing fine.
They do say that, Gary. It's great, guys. We're back. I believe we're back.
I was saying if
Squarespace is very supportive too. Shout out to Squarespace.
I can't tell if is that a joke or are you
No,
serious?
no, they were really good. I had problems with posting the videos and they told me what I was doing wrong.
Oh yeah, Squarespace is great. Yeah.
Like that.
No, their customer service is actually really surprisingly well. But digressing from the topic of customer service for random software.
Yeah, I was saying if you were saying about being a billionaire, and I said if I had £1 for every time you over-exaggerated, I'd be a billionaire as well.
Oh, of course, Rob. Of course. I mean, that's what I do, though. I'm a talk show host, so I'm going to exaggerate everything. But digressing from that, are we thinking that Canelo, like this rift between Canelo and Oscar is expedited and we get the separation from these two sooner rather than later? Or do we think that they just go through this process, go throughout the contract, and wait till Canelo is a promotional free agent for them to actually split up?
I'm just waiting for Canelo to beat Kovalev and there to be negotiations for his next fight because it's going to be fucking hella headlines. Because as far as I can make out, everything is done through like a third party. Like Canelo don't want to talk to Oscar. Mm-hmm. Or have Oscar talk to him. It's all done through, I think, Canelo's like lawyer or something like that. Yep. And it's a mess. I mean, also in that article, people should check it out if you've got an Athletics subscription, but it talks about the Canelo losing his IBF bout because of dragging the heels as far as
losing the date. The September Mexican Independence Day date and the May date, and how that really upsets him. Canelo's not happy, man.
No, and when you're the top dog in the sport, you know these guys should be doing everything they can to keep him a happy guy, you know. But I don't know. As far as when does he get out, I don't know. I think this will probably drag on a while. I'm sure Canelo's got everyone he can looking at his contract and just how much would it be and what kind of loopholes are there? What can we exploit as far as getting out of this? And then I guess he is who he is, probably goes it alone as far as promotional company, or maybe he does align himself with someone that will just be that extra voice that, because I just don't see what he's gaining from on an actual promotion standpoint with Golden Boy, but maybe he does. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he's happy to take a bigger cut because it's all through his own promotional thing. So yeah, I know Matt, you put it out there. Oh, the Matchroom fanboys are all excited at Canelo, but I mean, it could be. I think there's good terms with Canelo and Eddie as far as sort of conversations that have happened before. But I don't know. I'm not sure that
I could be president of the United States, right? Like,
well, not for a while. You got to be 35.
Yeah, of course, but I could be, right?
He's only in his 20s.
There's inside jokes. Everyone doesn't know that Rob is such a smart ass. But I just think that, again, if you're a fighter, you like independence, you like having some autonomy. And when you're a multi-millionaire like Canelo, you love that even more. And when the normal thing is to, hey, when you're a fighter on the come up, you have a promoter, you have an agent, you have a manager, you have all these things. And then if you're lucky enough to be a superstar, you can then be your own boss. And Canelo's at that stage now where he can be his own boss. And I think he's going to be because he clearly kind of wants to be his own boss. I don't think he likes having.
I'm just saying, having that mouthpiece that you don't know. He's
I
not
absolutely
out there speaking English, telling everybody to do, come.
I absolutely understand that point, but I don't think that matters to him because he has an entire demographic and market that he caters to that is in English speaking, and he's a megastar over there. So like him going to ESPN Deportes, he doesn't need Eddie Hearn or Bob Arum or who's another PBC. Like he doesn't need these entities to really do that and facilitate that for him. Or if let's say he wants to go to more mainstream outlets, it's Canelo Alvarez. He can go to First Take. He could go to Breakfast Club. He can go to Drink Champs. He can go to Good Morning America. Like he is Canelo Alvarez. He can do that on his own. And I do think it's just funny that not you, Rob, because I'm not talking to you. I know you don't think this. But a lot of the Matchroom zombies, so to speak, like the diehard ones, man, you guys are hoping on a star that Canelo's going to sign to Eddie, and that's just ahistorical. Like that just does not happen usually. For a superstar to separate himself from his promotional ties and then go to a promoter is rare. And it's almost unheard of. Like I just... And for people bringing up like, oh, Triple G did it, do not compare Triple G's business possibilities with Canelo. They're brands. Like, you just cannot compare the two. I mean, maybe a close comparison would be Pacquiao, right? And Pacquiao going to PBC, is that in the same vein of maybe Canelo having a somewhat co-deal partnership of some sort with Eddie or Al or something? Yes, but Pacquiao was on the way out, needed to rebuild, and on top of it, I would say Heyman and PBC, or I'd say Heyman individually, don't work as a boss the same way as a promoter does, and that's a significant factor. Just from a business relationship, advisor fighter is different than promoter fighter. It just is. I would be surprised if Pacquiao would just sign a promotional deal with anyone else ever again, to be honest.
I got a real question. If Canelo went to either DAZN or PBC, if he went to either Matchroom or PBC, would that create a strife internally? Because if you get Canelo has to be priority number 1, 2, and 3 because you have the biggest name in the sport, right? So if you're Deontay Wilder, Tank Davis, Jamal Charlo, you're like, wait, why is this guy getting all the attention? Or I guess if you're Triple G, you love him coming to Matchroom because it makes your fight. But you know what I'm saying? Like, does it create strife internally?
No, I don't think so.
Because you're no longer top dog with your organization.
No, maybe let's say within the divisions. Let's say PBC's case, right? I think that's an easy one to say because Jamal Charlo, Canelo, who's now the priority for Al Heyman, maybe, right?
Yeah.
But I think if you're like Deontay Wilder, a guy that's not in his division, like that doesn't matter. It's just now a conversation of rising tides raise all boats here, right? Raising all ships here. Like the amount of attention that either Matchroom or PBC would get for having Canelo is a net positive for everyone within that stable, in my opinion. It's not negative per se. And even within the divisions, I wouldn't say it's a negative because you're going to have the possibility of fighting Canelo, so that's a net positive for everyone. So no, I understand your point and why you would think that, but I don't think that's the case at all. I think it would actually just be more of a beneficial thing than a negative thing if you're a fighter within that respective stable, so to speak. But guys, any sort of last take on Oscar beef with Canelo and the strife between these two parties? No?
No, I'm ready to hear more.
I always love the pettiness and the drama, you know what I mean? Moving on, though. Guys, call in 323-870-4051. Press 1 to get in the queue. I see Santiago and 951. I see you guys there. Don't get off, though, because in 13 minutes, the phone lines will close. So what that means is you need to call in right now to get in the queue because we have like 3 or 4 more topics to get to. We're going to run out of the time on Blog Talk. So if you want to call in now, and you're safe within the system. So 323-870-4051, or just call in on Skype, Mixed Combat Radio. But digressing, Big Baby Miller is back in action, it seemed, or will be back in action soon, as a deal has been reached per Dan Rayfield, yet has not been signed for Jarrell Miller to be co-promoted with Top Rank, and obviously with his other promoters, Demetrius Salita and Greg Cohen Promotions. This is obviously the first step in Big Baby Miller coming back, and the next step is probably to get him licensed by a commission, whatever commission it would be, and then the next step, get him a fight. Whatever fight it is, just get him a fight, whether it's Fury off rip, whether it's, hey, look, the Wilder fight, I have no idea if that's happening now. We're going to get to Fury's quotes in a bit as well. We have no idea what's happening over there on ESPN side when it comes to the heavyweight division. Oscar Rivas is not in the picture. Bryant Jennings, I don't think he's really in the picture anymore. Like, I am curious where they go with Jarrell Miller. But we have Jarrell Miller now, it looks like, with Top Rank. Deal is not signed, but has been reached, again, per Dan Rayfield. Guys, thoughts on Big Baby Miller making his big comeback?
He shouldn't be allowed to fight. That's really my only thought. I know he got dropped by his promoter, but he got picked up by another one, by one of the other top, promoters in the sport. It's just like, I don't know. I was a Miller fan too, but I can't get into him fighting. And he took every possible substance you could take.
He could take more,
I suppose, but you'd really have to really make an effort to take more than what he took.
Yeah.
Rob, thoughts on Big Baby Miller's comeback, man?
I mean, on Gary's point, it looks like Heather Hardy is being dealt with more severely than Jarrell Miller did, and
around the same.
Well, she's got an actual suspension from the commission, right?
Of course. Well, one was licensed by a commission, one wasn't. I mean, a commission literally cannot suspend you if you're not licensed by them.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
Miller
and they somewhere else, if providing someone granted it.
But no one did because he was suspended for 6 months. Yeah, but it's a 6-month suspension regardless, and it was respected by all commissions. He didn't go commission shopping and was successful.
No, maybe not. I'm just saying she's also got a 10 grand fine and stuff like that. But anyway.
But like you say, it's 6 months suspension, but like it's like a 3-month suspension because he was supposed to fight on June 1st. That was the fight, right? Mm-hmm. So now he gets a 6-month suspension. That should put you out until the end of the year, but it's not. He's already taking offers to fight again. So it's really like a 3-month suspension.
Well, it's not. It's literally 6 months.
I understand, but it's 3 months from when he failed the test, from when the test was administered. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, he wasn't going to fight for 2 more months anyway. It's like, this is like, yeah.
It's boxing. But as far as landing at Top Rank, I guess maybe Fury is the end goal. Like you say, we'll get
definitely
to some Fury. We'll get to some Fury stuff shortly. But I mean, Salita's managed to get Warlin signed over on.
Oh, is that like confirmed?
I think Top Rank picked up Warlin, didn't they?
I thought that was talked about. I didn't know that was confirmed. If that's confirmed, good for him, man.
Yeah,
that's
and he's Salita Promotions as well, so he could pitch. How does Jarrell Miller shape up against the guy that went a decision
that touched up Tyson Fury?
Yeah, touched up and bloody blah with the lineal champ, etc., etc. I think Eddie on one side wanted to maybe look at Jarrell Miller again, but I think on another side was like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure. I think if Eddie would have gone, yeah, come back, we'll sign you on the zone and blah blah blah, he would have taken a whole lot more flack. But
Eddie would have, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but that's because Eddie gets more flack than Bob.
Yeah, but I just think off the bat, you let yourself down going into the fight with Joshua, and I'm going to pick it. And after taking all those stuff, after everything he said, and then but it wouldn't have surprised me if Eddie did. And it's not signed yet with Top Rank, and I think Big Baby Miller, given the choice, would like to be back at the Zone. I think he even said those words.
Well, it's a better heavyweight stable, so I mean, of course he
Oh,
would.
sure, yeah, there's better fights there for him, but
And I'll be honest, even if he does some with Top Rank, don't be surprised to see him back in there with an AJ or a Matchroom stable fighter in the near future, guys. Like, first off, it's heavyweight, so these guys need to start fighting each other more often. You know, like you can't like jump up a division and like fight another guy within your stable. Like that doesn't exist here. Like you only have that division, limited options, and at Top Rank, limited heavyweight options. So I would
Tom Schwartz.
Oh, look, all these bad fights that you guys are mentioning, like Otto Wallin and Tom Schwartz for Jarrell Miller are fantastic, I guess, for the Top Rank narrative. But fuck, man, I do not want to see any of those, for God's sake. And to the point of, because I haven't really talked about it, like, should he come back? I don't care. I know like that's a really like controversial take, is to like not really have a take on things, but I really don't care that Big Bear Miller is coming back. Like half of the heavyweight division has tested positive. Sorry, Rob, I didn't hear you. Half of the heavyweight division has tested positive for PEDs, including the lineal champion Tyson Fury, who no one wants to bring up as tested positive for multiple PEDs.
And AJ hasn't tested positive, so you know the testing is a joke, right? Because if it was serious testing, he'd have failed 10 times by now.
I don't know that. I don't care.
I don't know that either. I don't know that.
I know you just want to piss off Rob. I know you do.
I'm just saying.
Rob's too tired to deal with it.
You got to be careful out here. Fighters are getting angry with everybody right now. Okay, so I don't know.
Yeah, AJ's going to run down Gary at Whole Foods?
Texas is a big state. He's not finding me.
Yeah, and you got a bunch of guns and shit.
I think if we want to like tackle PD regulation and the issues within it, like getting pitchforks for Big Bear Miller is not the way to go about it. Like it just isn't. You know, I talked about this on I think another show. Maybe it was the championship round show on Patreon, but I'm going to talk about it again more tonight when we talk about USADA's huge release of their near half-decade findings with the UFC and 13,000 tests and all the data from that and how many people have actually popped and is it even worth our fucking time? I tend to think like PD regulation when it comes to individual cases is such a minute topic in the grand scheme of things. If we want to talk about PD regulation as a whole, not to you guys, I know we've talked about it a ton, but just out there, generally speaking, as a community, let's have that conversation. But guys, Big Baby Miller's coming back. That nothing's going to stop him. And in 6 months' time, none of you are going to care about it. And the ones that do care about it are still going to fucking watch him. A la Tyson Fury, a la Luis Ortiz, a la Dylan White, who all of you seem to be defending with such earnest. This is it's all bullshit. Who cares? And to the great words of Nate Diaz,
everybody's on steroids. The whole UFC, everybody.
Even him, kind of. Who cares?
I want to see Big Baby fight again because I want to see him gassing after 2 rounds because he's got no EPO, HGH.
I still want to see
in 3 punches around.
I still want to see the fight that makes the most sense in the heavyweight division. Miller versus White. That fight would be fantastic. That's a fight of the year contender written all over it. It has no belt attached to it, but I don't care. That's a great fight.
WBC interim belt.
Shut up. And I won that fight before the PD cases for both men, respectively, numerous times. I don't care. I still want that fight.
Dylan White's popped how many times too, right? So
twice, I want to say.
Yeah, at least twice.
Well,
I think just
1.5.
1.5.
Oh my God! Stop.
Right, and Big Baby Miller popped 4 times and then 1 time a few years ago, so 5 times total, right?
Yes.
So let's just have the fight in Russia, no drug testing. Let's just do it.
All in favor of that, man. Let's go for it.
Take whatever you want.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go. But digressing. First fight for Big Baby Miller. Who are we thinking? Like Joey DeWalco? Are we thinking it's like that level of fighter?
No, I think it'll be less than that. Like I think it's Otto Wallin.
That's too good. I think it's Tom Schwartz.
Maybe. I think you're gonna get. Although people thought Wallin was good, like because
Stop.
I was like, what do you think? He was big and tough, right? But he's not good. Like he's a guy you want to put FA in with someone to give him a few rounds, put him in with Valeen, right? But he's not good. He's not going to beat anybody. So let's put Miller in with Otto Valeen. Make him go some rounds, see how his endurance is. I would say do that.
He was undefeated until
he was.
Yeah.
What is 84-0? What is 84-0?
What do you mean?
Tyson Fury's last 3 opponents.
Yeah. There you go. Level.
Fuck that shit. Fuck boxing. Fuck boxing.
By the way, Fury's out there saying he's 30-0 right now. He had his 30th fight. He's 30-0. He's even got the Wilder draw as a win, which it kind of was anyway.
It was. Wait, so okay.
Moving on, Tyson Fury out there saying, I could stay in the WWE. We'll make a decision afterwards.
He's...
Fuck that shit. Fuck boxing. Fuck boxing.
I listened to... I didn't get a chance to clip it, but he must have... speaking to Mike Costello, he was sort of in a playful mood, but within the space of the entire, like, sitting around listening to Fury getting interviewed by different newspapers, they're all having their own little 10 minutes with him. He must have said the Fury fight's definitely on. The Fury fight, might be off.
You mean the Wilder fight?
Going to stick around in the Wilder.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to stick around in WWE. He's going to do an MMA fight. It's Wilder in February and in June, and then maybe a farewell fight in at the end. A third and another fight at the end as a farewell fight. And then, you retiring? He said, no, but you never know what's going to happen. And he said every possible fucking connotation of what he could do in his career next. So at this moment in time, I'm just waiting to see just what happens, and I'll watch whatever it happens. Don't forget, Tyson Fury, I think tomorrow night. Crown Jewel, Braun Strowman. WWE. But yeah, he said every possible outcome that his career could do. So I'm just not biting on every single headline and sending it to the topics at the moment, Matt.
I just want to shit on Fury a little bit. Please stop trolling us. For the love of God. And on top of that, stop defending this whole Saudi Arabia bullshit. Like, please stop.
He has got so...
You're a homophobic piece of shit, Tyson Fury. Just accept it. Like, be the bad guy. Be the anti-PC bad guy. Like, don't pretend to be the white knight savior of all things morality and then defend Saudi Arabia's bullshit. Fuck out of here.
He was asked about the Saudi Arabia thing by Mike Costello, and he said, when it got announced for Joshua, the amount of criticism that came their way. Have you felt any? They went, no, not really. I'm just a fighter. I get paid. I get told where to go, and I go there. And it was just almost as if we went, yeah, good point. Yeah, fair enough. It's like,
well, Tyson Fury fans are probably more aligned with him in terms of worldview, so of course they don't care about him going to Saudi Arabia. AJ fans are probably less aligned with Saudi Arabia's worldview, which is why they were upset.
No, I just mean even media. It's not like suddenly people have gone at Tyson Fury. Why are you going?
No, there's a lot of media going after the WWE for going to Saudi Arabia again.
Yeah, WWE. But I mean, is Tyson Fury personally getting Joshua was kind of questioned on it, and he's just been like, he sort of goes almost like, and everyone's like, oh, fair enough, and it's not getting pressed more. I don't know. It's just. I think maybe.
Again,
the boxing got there first in a way, as far as Fury's in the boxing world, but it's like someone came in first and took the brunt of it, and the shock and whatever's kind of died down regarding the whole uproar about it in a way.
I wouldn't say the uproar's died down at all. There's still articles being posted and made right now talking about sports washing in Saudi Arabia and the WWE and etc. It may not just be about Tyson Fury in this case, because it's not just about Tyson Fury. With AJ, in that case, it was about just AJ, because AJ was the one determining the location. He is the one that wanted that extra paycheck and umbrella paycheck from Saudi Arabia. So it's just different. In this case, it's the WWE that wants that paycheck from Saudi Arabia. Tyson Fury is just a beneficiary of that in some aspect. That's why the anger is directed at the WWE, not Fury, instead of in respect to, let's say, the AJ case. But also, Tyson Fury, fuck out of here. Just want to keep always emphasizing that you're a nasty human being. Moving on, Joseph Parker is very eager to fight Chisora sooner than later. We've talked about this, I think we were supposed to talk about this on Monday's show, but we ran out of time, right, guys? I think this was a Sky Sports article originally, is that Parker's manager wants the Chisora fight ASAP. But we were talking about, Chisora and his options here and how Usyk for a vacant belt might be the better option. If you're Parker, do you try to throw him a bunch of money to get that Chisora fight? Because in Parker's case, that's a big fight for you in some aspect.
I'm past it now. That was sort of interesting when that was slated for the pay-per-view card with Prograis Taylor. And the more I think about it, the more I think Parker comes to take it to the distance. And I don't want to see Derek Chisora go the distance, to be honest. I want Chisora to be in fun fights. And
the Parker fight would be fun, though.
It depends on Parker.
I think the Parker I think the Parker fight's a more fun style matchup than the Usyk fight.
It depends on Parker. Like if Parker wants to stand on the outside, I think Parker can win the fight if he stands on the outside. But
so can
he
Usyk.
could. Yeah,
boring.
It'd be. I mean, I don't like to use the word boring. It's not going to be what you would hope for in a Chisora fight. Like he goes in on the inside and they slug it out. I think he loses that fight, right? So I think if he fights a disciplined fight, a boring fight, he could win.
I disagree with that take, but hey, it's all right. I just think Joseph Parker, what I saw in the Dylan White fight, because I think Dylan White's a far better fighter than Derek Chisora, especially what we saw in the rematch with White Chisora. I think Parker would have his way with Chisora. I think Parker would actually step to Chisora and be the aggressor in that matchup and try to get him out of there. But
you think he gets? You think if he steps it up, you think he could take him out?
Oh yeah.
Okay, because I think Chisora can take.
Carlos Takam was able to out pressure Chisora for long stretches of that fight.
Rope-a-dope.
You can argue that, but look, if Chisora's going to do that with Parker, Parker's the better hitter and the better boxer than Takam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? True. So I'll say this, though. Regardless, this is a fun matchup. If this doesn't happen, we get Chisora Usyk, that's a fun matchup.
It's weird to call Parker the better hitter against the heavyweight, but when you compare him to Takam, yeah, he's the better hitter.
Or even like Usyk's case. Like I would say Parker's the heavier hitter than Usyk, right?
Yeah, I would. Well, let's see. I mean, Usyk didn't look to have like a whole bunch of power against Witherspoon, but
and
let's see.
The only other like heavyweight he kind of fought was Tony Bellew, and Bellew had like kind of a soft chin.
Show me Joseph Parker's highlight reel knockout.
Oh, he doesn't. No, I'm not saying he's a heavy hitter. I'm saying
he hit harder than Takam.
Yeah, that's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Not that he's a heavy hitter, full stop. Just a heavier hitter than Carlos Takam and Alexander Usyk at heavyweight.
Don't know.
No, you're not buying it?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Give me Takam's knockout reel. Let's compare it to Parker's knockout. You're misconstruing what he's saying. Like that's why I had to step back.
I get it now. Right.
Okay.
I don't know. Because for me, didn't Takam beat Parker?
No,
Parker beat Takam. Oh, you're saying in your mind Takam beat?
Possibly, yeah.
I thought Parker won. I mean, I could see that.
No. It was a decision that wasn't as exciting, but it wasn't like the Andy Ruiz fight where like there were people that thought Andy beat Joseph Parker, right?
I thought Ruiz won. Yeah.
I don't think it was at like that type of close fight, but I could be wrong. Digressing though, we can move on. Mike Coppinger out there saying sources. Tony Harrison, Jamel Charlo, junior middleweight title rematch headline PBC on Fox December 21st in Southern California. I'm also hearing that this is going to be Ontario, California, and not like LA County, which is a really, really bad idea. I don't know why this fight isn't at the Forum. It makes no sense to me. Or why is this fight not in Texas somewhere? I know New York is pretty,
Saturated
because there's a lot of fights that month in New York. But come on, man, you can put this in Ontario, California, where what's even out there? Like, I don't even know what arena they're gonna put this thing in right now.
Well, they have the casino out there, don't they?
I forget what casino it is. Like, that's why. Why are you doing this? Like, this is a good fight.
The casino paid them big bucks. I don't know.
And look, I don't care. I'm talking as like an LA native now, as a consumer. Ontario drives 45 minutes outside of LA. The Forum or the StubHub Center, now renamed some bullshit name, those are Inglewood, Carson, California. Those are within LA County. I drive into the city.
You don't think Jermell Charlo would be insulted if they put the fight in the StubHub? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm above fighting at the StubHub. Yeah. So, like, the StubHub, put it there. It's a great venue.
Forum's better, but it's debatable. I know there's a big debate amongst LA fans. What's better, StubHub or Forum? It's the Forum. There's a roof. It's better. But digressing from that, I think this is obviously a deserving rematch that needs to happen. Harrison definitely pulled the upset here in the first fight, and I'm excited to see how Jermell Charlo adjusts, because let's be honest, the Charlo brothers, both of them have seemed to digress in skill and ability, and they need to turn it around. And this is going to be one of those fights where we're going to see if Jermell Charlo can turn it around, because he should win this fight. Also curious to see what it does on Fox in terms of viewership, because I know the first time they fought on Fox, the Charlo brothers, they fought together and did really good viewership. I'm wondering how they do separately now, since one's on Showtime, one's on Fox. I know they did that a few months ago, but they fought, step up notice fights or short notice fights. One was Brandon Adams and one was Jorge Cota on short notice. So that's not a barometer for star power and drawing power on TV. This fight, though, they're going to promote it, I think, heavily on Fox during the NFL postseason. So I'm curious to see how that plays into it. Guys, any thoughts on Harrison Charlo, it being announced for PBC on Fox in Southern California?
I don't get why they're putting it where they are, but I'm glad we're getting the fight. I want to see, obviously, Jermell get his revenge and hopefully get his title back. So I'm just glad we're getting the fight.
Agreed. I think boxing's better if Jermell wins it. Sorry, Tony. Love you, Tony Harrison, but the Charlo brothers they were like a breath of fresh air in boxing hardcore fandom in the U.S. for a period of time.
Yeah, they have a big allegiance among the PBC fanboys and stuff, and they have a fan base in Houston. Obviously, you saw Jamal. Yeah, sold a lot of tickets. Or
even in L.A. when Jamal Charlo J-Rock happened in L.A., they were people were there to see Charlo. Okay, and the main event for that wasn't Charlo. It was it Leo Santa Cruz Cuellar? No.
That was the co-main. What was the...
There was a Leo Santa Cruz fight on that, and then there was a Abner Mares fight on that card, I think, as well, and then they ended up fighting it down the line. But digressing, they have some fans, and it seems like that died down a little bit because they haven't been looking good. Let's be honest. One took an L. One probably should have took an L against Matt Korobov. They need to rebound here.
Yeah, you could make a good argument that the wrong Charlo won and the wrong Charlo lost, right? They may have won that night. It was just flip them.
Rob, any thoughts on the Harrison Charlo rematch being?
No, I'm just glad it's been rescheduled. Who might be out on the undercard for this? I wonder, but just trying to think who might be due maybe a fight, but I don't know that it'll be a huge name or anything. Really big.
Maybe
name.
Like Brandon Figueroa. Oh no, he's fighting on the Wilder card, isn't he? No.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's right.
It was Abner Mares versus Cuellar. That was on that Charlo Harrison card. It was that co-main for
Charlo J-Rock. Charlo J-Rock.
Charlo J-Rock was the co-main for Abner Mares and Cuellar.
Which is crazy. To think about that. But it is. That's how it was. I am curious, now that you mentioned that, Rob, who could they put in the co-main here? Who could fill out the card? Because December is a busy week, or busy month, I should say, for PBC. So is November. A lot of their main guys are sort of tied up. It's going to be interesting to see how they fill up this card, because I think they're going to need to fill up a little bit. It's not this fight alone doesn't sell, I'll be honest. Moving on, though, speaking of selling,
Sorry, I was going to say I'm just ready to see the press conference again because that shit was funny last time.
It was good. That was a good press conference. It was quite comical.
Corny ass motherfucker. He's corny. He's giving Charlo plenty, which is good to see sometimes.
Mike Coppinger saying the first episode of the PBC Fight Camp previewing the Deontay Wilder-Luis Ortiz rematch pulled in 2.25 million viewers on Fox. And that came in after the lead-in of the NFL Sunday night game. Right, Gary? Was it the Sunday night game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It was just the Sunday late game.
Oh, Sunday late game.
4 o'clock start. Yeah, and
Sorry.
then Fox.
Sorry, not the Sunday night. Late game.
Yeah.
Obviously, insane numbers for just a preview shoulder programming sort of telecast. That there's no fights on it, and obviously most of the people watching probably just have the TV on, but it doesn't matter. That's the point of that. It's the point of having a lead in is to have people just keeping the TV on, hoping they just stumble upon, boxing. Oh, this looks interesting. And maybe the Deontay Wilder-Luis Ortiz story, maybe Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder, when he is edited in little sound bites, he is quite effective, in my opinion, for casual fans. Maybe not in 35-minute, 45-minute interviews on podcasts, but little sound bites and edited with clips, he's a star.
Yeah, small bases, he's good. Throw in a big screamy bomb squad, you're good.
You're good. And I think it's clear that this Fox connection with PBC has been highly, highly effective. And
with the NFL as well.
Well, of course. That's what I mean by that. Fox has all these other properties. It's Fox. It's on basic cable. Of course, PBC attached to it is going to have the trickle-down effect of just promotion. But I am curious. Not curious. That's probably the wrong word. I am interested as if this huge push by Fox is because they are the ones footing the bill in the production. Because when the UFC was with Fox, you didn't see this. You didn't see this type of promotion, this type of shoulder programming, this type of thinking from the network. I think that was in large part because the UFC still owned the production. PBC does not own the network production of these events. Fox does. And that's a huge reason why I think Fox is so readily there to invest into PBC content because they have some sort of ownership of it in a sense, at least in terms of production cost and such. But guys, obviously the first sort of preview of the Wilder-Ortiz rematch pulled in great viewership on Fox. Thoughts on it?
I think Fox is doing this right? Like, I went to look up what time it was, and it said after football. So their plan was to have it lead. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was their plan. They wanted the football fans to stay on and watch it. And they sold the Spence fight when that did a much bigger pay-per-view number than we expected. Mm-hmm. They put Spence everywhere at Cowboy games, right? So just getting the casual fan familiar with him, wanting to see him. And that's what they're doing with Wilder. And I think Wilder's natural ability to be a star is much bigger than Spence's. I think this fight's going to do what Spence. I think it's going to do a much bigger number than what we're expecting it to do because Fox is going to do it right.
Yeah, I mean, we were all predicting this one to do obviously worse than the Fury fight because in theory it should. It's not as good of a fight.
But I'm changing my mind on that.
I kind of am too, and it's in large part because of the Fox and Showtime differences, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so apparent now.
350.
I'm saying 400. I think it's going to do a lot more than people are expecting. I think we're going to see Wilder is becoming a star, in part due to Fox.
Yeah, I think 350 is the low end now for Wilder. At least for this type of promotion with this time of the year as well. If this was maybe in the summertime, didn't have the NFL around it, maybe not so much, but you have the NFL around it. You have Major League Baseball, the World Series happening around it with Wilder promos being run in the middle of the game. Like it's just a different level, I think, now than it was even just 6 months ago on Showtime in December before the Fox deal really kicked in, because that was before the Fox deal kicked in. Maybe Gary's right, 400 plus. Maybe it gets to 450, 500. I just think, like we've all said here, like Wilder has potential here with this sort of marketing to really be a star in ways that even Spence can't, even though Spence is clearly outperforming in every metric. Shout out to him.
Right, but Spence doesn't have the boisterous personality that Wilder is. He's not a heavyweight like Wilder is. So he's a fun fight, but he doesn't have this one punch spectacular,
Absolutely.
internet meme knockouts that Wilder has. So Wilder has more of an ability to be a star, and you've seen how they've done with Spence. I think they could do even better with Wilder.
And Wilder's been around longer. Like that does help.
Right.
He's been around. He's been a world champion since 2015, right? When he beat Bermane Stiverne. That's now 4 or 5 years now of a title reign. That matters. That's longevity. That's time for the casuals to catch up to the hardcores in some fashion.
I mean, it's no Yafai time period as a champion, but it's good. It's good.
How long has the FI been champion?
Shit, I can't
2017.
Remember.
When he fought David Kimura, right? Kimona or whatever his name is.
I'll get it very quick. It's accepts. But no, that's a great number for, like you say, some shoulder programming. I think that's very, very very good numbers. Yafai. Oh, actually, he's lower down than Wilder. Wilder's longer.
Oh, I know.
You could have just saved me looking for it.
I know, but I didn't want to save you from doing that. And speaking of the differences between Showtime and Fox, Showtime viewership for the Lubin card came out, and God, it's not good.
Sometimes I feel discouraged.
Man, how does Showtime look at these numbers with any positive light? 198,000 viewers. That's the average, by the way.
It peaked at 215. So what did it peak at?
Please believe your demise will be televised.
Literally, Showtime's demise is being televised in front of us slowly. Thank you, Rob.
It was the wrong day to have that card. There was the big fight earlier, and it was against Shakur Stevenson.
Well, for example, like the FS1 card coming up on Saturday, that's going to bomb too.
The big fight earlier, you referring to the
Progress Taylor? Yeah, absolutely. If people just look, Rob, for boxing heads, the big fight was Progress Taylor. If you're going to watch that and you get your fill for the night, maybe you don't watch the Top Rank or the Showtime card. But obviously, coming up this weekend, we have even the Brian Castano fight, right, on FS1. That's competing with Canelo-Kovalev head-to-head. And I'm not done. And guys, a Top Rank card on regular ESPN, not ESPN Plus, regular ESPN. Yeah. On top of that, a mega UFC pay-per-view. Why is this not a Friday card? And similar, why wasn't Lubin Gallimore a Friday night card or a Sunday night card? Like, why are they not experimenting with this? Like,
well, you can't do it Sunday during football season.
You're right. But Friday night,
Friday night would have been perfect.
Gosh, Thursday night, like Thursday night boxing, give me that instead of, filling up a Saturday where you're gonna have these cards like Lubin Gallimore, which was sad that it did this number. Like, Lubin's a really good prospect now, contender. I thought even the Easter Granados fight was a good fight. No one saw it.
How sad?
Not enough to cry. I saw your face instantly, Rob, when I said that, and I'm like, oh, he's gonna make a joke. Reference. Sad. But it is depressing in a way. Like, God,
how depressing?
Not enough to make me cry though. You're literally if you're Showtime or let's say for FS1 right now for this Castano card coming up, you're putting out these cards to die. You're not giving these cards a chance to really have any success at all. And I get ticket sales go down if it's a weekday card. I get all these ramifications if it's a weekday card, but look, it's better than competing with bigger events on the same day. And Lubin's card, he didn't really have that compared to Brian Castano's card coming up. Lubin's card should have done a lot better. This is shockingly low. But hey, these things happen. It's what it is.
It's right. Lubin's going to be fighting Sergio Garcia next, right?
Is that for sure? Is that?
I think so. I'm
down with that.
Final eliminator for the winner of Charlo Harrison, right?
Yeah, you said Sergio Garcia, right?
The one that beat up Cheeseman.
Yeah, I think he's calling me.
Calling you?
Not right now, but I think he's been calling me. I've had a Sergio Garcia call me for like weeks now. And maybe it's the same Sergio Garcia. I don't know. I just keep clicking ignore.
I probably think it's not.
I have no idea who the Sergio Garcia is, but maybe it's the same one.
I'm sure it's not that uncommon of a name where another Sergio Garcia could call
Like
you.
LA
I don't
area.
know. Who knows, guys? Who knows?
What?
It's not like Nikita or Bobby.
No,
where
I
if
am
you're gonna-
now.
What's the
Hold
number?
on, guys.
What's the number?
I don't know. It comes up as Sergio Garcia, and I don't have a Sergio
Right.
Garcia in my phone, so I don't know why that does that. But anyways,
You can see what the number is. You have it saved as Sergio Garcia.
I don't have it saved. It just comes
No,
up as Sergio
it
Garcia.
comes up like it says possibly Sergio Garcia,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Or maybe. It says maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
It says maybe. Your iPhone doesn't do this? Like it automatically reads who these numbers are
if
now?
my phone number isn't, if a phone number isn't saved, it just
No, not anymore.
number.
Not anymore.
Mine does.
No, mine doesn't.
How can it? It could be someone.
Okay, so Rob, if you get a robocall from
I'm gonna explain this in really specific detail in a specific case. Okay, if I hit up a girl on like Tinder or like Bumble, right, and I say like, hey, text me on this number, and she texts me, guarantee her name's already there, without me knowing her number, without me saving, because somehow the phone knows through the system that girl has your number texting right now. We know that girl's name.
Well, it's registered. The number's registered, right? So, like,
I don't know. I'm not a science whiz.
Right, like, so let's say her phone was registered under her dad's name. You might get her dad's. Maybe is what it says. Maybe, and it'll give you the name.
Do you hit up any Garcias lately?
No, but that's why I'm like, dude, who's the Sergio Garcia keep calling me, right?
Sergio could be.
And I've been like, maybe like it's somebody from like work that I used to work with back in the day, you know. But I'm like, I don't know any Sergio Garcias really. I've never answered it, but now I'm 100% going to answer it because
you basically just admitted on live radio you're swiping right on some dudes.
No, because it would show up as like I would have to give them my number, dude. Like I would have to give them my number. Anyways,
I'm joking.
Anyways, okay. I'm now going to answer that Sergio Garcia and ask him if he's the same Sergio Garcia. If it is,
ask him if he's going to be Lubin.
He's
maybe
not.
He's trying to. Maybe he's trying to get some FaceTime on MCR. Like, yeah, let me be on the show.
Is Sergio Garcia the Spanish guy?
Yeah. With
okay.
Joe Martinez, Marvio boxer.
Thank you. Okay. And is he also in the same stable, right? Weird sense as Pantera, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. I get them mixed up a lot for some reason. They kind of look alike too. A little bit.
Yeah, kind of.
But digressing, guys. That was the last topic of the day.
Is the one that you remember? Cheeseman just put his face out there and.
I remember. Yeah, I remember Sergio Garcia. Yeah. But again, like Pantera, Ritson, Garcia, Cheeseman happened like around the same time. Gets confusing. It was all the same fight to me. Yeah. It's one pasty UK guy versus some Spanish or Italian dude. Digressing. Let's go out to callers. Santiago in LA, and looks like the 951 number dropped off. Sorry, 951. Apologies. Santiago, what's up?
Yo, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I didn't even hear the beep. Holy crap. All right then, well.
Are you on speakerphone, Santi?
Yeah, I'm driving. You guys know how the history has been with the headphone situation on my end.
Yeah, Santiago, it sounds like you're really far away, so just like run through your predictions, your takes on the news. I apologize.
It's fine. Don't worry about it. Anyways, you guys already know how I've been about this fight. I feel that Canelo has a better skill set. He's younger. I feel Kovalev is on his way out right now. And even at this stage of his career, if he's getting in some core work in, it's not going to do good against the body work of Canelo. I think Canelo stops him, works the body early, and probably gets like a 10th round TKO victory. Either Kovalev doesn't answer the bell, or we see what happened to him with Andre Ward, but a little bit more impressive.
Agreed.
And then you already know how we've had this discussion like multiple times already on the show about the whole De La Hoya and Canelo thing. And at this point, I think this is just a culmination of it, like where we're actively seeing like I guess if you want to call it resentment, call it resentment. But you can see where they stand with each other at this point. And yeah, I'd imagine that figure would be high if Canelo tried to buy out his career. I agree with you though that if he does end up like losing out on like 2 years, he's still pretty young. He's a physically fit specimen at this point too, as an athlete, as a person. I don't think that we'd see too much of a difference. Maybe a little bit of ring rust. But at this point in his career, like Rob, I'm just kind of waiting for the next fight to be announced, and the whether or not Golden Boy is still even involved will probably be like a footnote at that point. You know.
I agree. Rob looks like his mic just fell down. He's trying to deal with it right now.
Fuck this show.
It's been a really fun show, guys. So much technical issues.
I agree, Santi, because you agree with me. I agree with you.
Damn right. What do you think about the Ryan Garcia fight, Santi? I want to get your thought on that.
You know, I'm kind of split on that one because on one end, I feel like Romero Duno should win this fight. But at the same time, like you guys have said, you know, there have been cases where we see a guy that looks like he's the goods, but then it turns out his competition hasn't really been as good as we were led to believe. And my final take on this is that I think this is a fight that's going to be tough for Garcia, but I think this is probably going to be the fight that pushes Garcia up. I think this is the fight where it seems like Garcia wanted it. There was so much surrounding, like, you know, what happened with him and Golden Boy and like the fight falling through and everything like that. And I think that at this point, especially working with the Reynoso camp, we should not only see improvement, but we should see a desire for him to actually want to showcase himself on what is arguably going to be one of the biggest platforms he can be right now as the co-main event to Canelo Alvarez.
Do you think he establishes himself in the list of Tanahara and Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney as like the future of the lightweight division? Like, do you think we look at him after this fight and be like, okay, he's on track now? Like we do with a guy like Tanahara.
I think he makes an argument for being on that path at this point because I will say, as someone, I've been following Ryan Garcia for a while, and I think he has what it takes. But his last couple fights have been lackluster at best for me. I think this is the fight for me that we see some improvements. We see that what exactly he's capable of, and he shows me, okay, your faith hasn't been misplaced. You do have what it takes to be a future of 135 or 140, because I definitely don't think that he's going to be around at 130 for a while. At this point, he's still growing. He's still very young. I think he probably has maybe 3 more fights left, maybe 2, and then he moves up to 135.
The other question I wanted to ask you was Esparza and Estrada. I'm going out here on a limb, taking Esparza. Who do you got?
You know, I remember I got to go with Matt to see Marlon Esparza's pro debut, and I loved her just because she went in with the whole Red Rangers thing, and I've always been a big Red Rangers fan. And I've been following Seniesa Estrada for some time now. Like, I've seen her fight live at least 3 times now. One of them was at the Forum. I like the matchup. If I had a gun to my head right now and I had to pick who I think is going to win, I think it's probably going to be Marlon Esparza.
All right. Gary's happy right now.
Someone agreed with me. Yes.
By the way, after the recent WBC convention, Romero Duno is number 15 in their rankings at lightweight. Ryan Garcia is number 8.
Stay off the weed.
It's all right. They got Gervonta Davis at 1.
Are you off your tits? Have you been smoking something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There you go.
Santi, back to you.
Okay, well,
Berchelt Sosa.
where it comes. What happened?
Berchelt Sosa. What about that card? Let's go down all the cards.
You know what? It's weird because I feel like that should have been a fight that should have already been on the record. Like when I was looking through my DVR to set all the fights for the coming week, I looked at that one and I thought, is this a replay or something? And then I go to boxing and I'm like, oh shit, this is a fight that's actually happening. Easy pick on that one, Miguel Berchelt. I think that he's just gonna like do what he has to do and get a win within like 5 rounds at least. You know, get some rounds in and show what he is at this point, because he's been on a tear. You know, ever since he got the belt from Francisco Vargas. I don't know at this point what we're going to see more of him until we actually see him face off against someone of his caliber at this point.
Agreed. What about Nkajas? What do you think about Nkajas? Think he's overrated?
Jury's still out on that one. I think he's got potential, but I can't really say for sure right now whether or not he's overrated.
Well, let's. Let me rephrase the question here, just to make Rob a little bit upset. Because obviously in that division, Estrada is king, right? And Rungsviad is number 2, let's say, right? I think that's probably a clear thing we can all agree on. After that, it would be either Nkajas or Yaffe. Who do you rank above the other? Do you rank Nkajas above Yaffe or Yaffe above Nkajas?
It'd be Nkajas.
Above Yaffe?
Hang on.
Yeah.
You're forgetting about Ioka.
I know. I'm sorry. Ioka is probably after them.
No, Ioka's ahead of both of them. Ioka beats Nkajas.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
They're
fun fights. They're all competitive fights. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong here, Gary. I'm not like saying like without a doubt Nkajas beats Ioka. But what I'm saying is if I have to pick, I'm picking Nkajas over Ioka. I'm picking Yaffe over Ioka. Tough fights to pick, but I'm picking those 2 guys over Ioka. It's not a bad thing to be the 5th best guy in the super flyweight division.
No, but if he's right, but if he's the 5th best guy, he's overrated. You know what I'm saying? Like if all the other guys are better than him, then he's overrated.
Well, not Ioka. I wouldn't say Ioka's overrated.
No, I'm saying if we're talking about the question was is Nkajas overrated?
Oh, okay. You're switching. All right.
Yeah.
You're saying if Ioka and all these other guys are better than Nkajas, is he overrated? Yes. I understand what you're saying, Gary. I 100% agree. If that's the case, then yes, Nkajas would be overrated. I just don't think that's the case, to be honest. Like, I would love to see an Estrada Nkajas fight. I think that fight
any
would be
of these
fantastic.
matchups are good. And now you have Charlie Edwards in that division, too, who you...
I love that. I love that inclusion. But he has to actually fight first in the division. Santi, any other thoughts? Katie Taylor fighting this weekend. Obviously, the Brian Castano card. Big Baby Miller signing with Top Rank. All the fun stuff.
All the fun stuff, but not exactly stuff that I would care to say. Because honestly, you pretty much said anything I've had to say regarding any of those topics too. I'm looking forward to Katie Taylor's fight. Obviously, moving up to 140. I'm curious to see how she comes back from what a tough fight she had with Delphine Persoon. So we'll see. We'll see what she has in store at 140 for us. But other than that, that's pretty much it. So everyone that's been listening to the show, hit that like button, subscribe, patreon.com/MixCombat Radio, where you can find championship rounds and, support these guys because, we get some good content, some good humor, some good banter. And what's not to love about that, especially when you get open debates.
That's right. Thank you for the call, Santi.
This is great banter. It really is.
Thank you, Rob. You read my mind. But that's going to be it for today, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a long show. A lot of fights coming up this weekend. Enjoy them. I'm going to be back later tonight. Rob and Gary aren't, but Anthony Walker and Jason Burgos are probably going to be joining me from ShareDog.com.
What is he talking about?
Rob's jealous of Anthony. It's okay, Rob. It's okay. I know you are. We're going to be talking, obviously, UFC 244, Nate Diaz, Jorge Masvidal, breaking down that card. Ben Askren losing.
What is he talking about?
The USADA program and it being a complete failure. And all the fun stuff in MMA at 7 p.m. Pacific time is when that show will be, guys. Just to let you guys know. It's already made, so if you guys want to go hit the like button, share that show, go do it. It's already made. It's already scheduled. Go do it right now. And if you want to find me, Matt Hunter, MCR, all platforms on social media, hit the like button, share the show, subscribe, patreon.com/MixCombat Radio to help support the channel in any financial way. Rob, let people know where to find you and any final thoughts you have.
Sorry, I was fucking around with my soundboard there.
Yeah, it was funny. It was.
It really was. Yeah, no, obviously big weekend. It's a Canelo weekend, so the boxing world will be tuned in, and all the press will be there, and we'll be getting all the stories, all the info, and it's sort of big fight field. Obviously the biggest star in the sport over there. And I'll stick with my prediction of a Canelo stoppage over the Crusher. I think the Crusher's on the way out, and looking forward to this Canelo check and 2 more from DAZN, isn't it? After, if he loses, he's got a couple of fights on DAZN or something. But thumbs up, share the show, all the usual stuff, click the notifications bell. Gary.
Great week of boxing coming up. I'm going out on a limb. The only one taking Kovalev. That means I'm going to be right. But follow me on all forms social media. All forms at 3D Boxing.
I want to make it known that the second Gary picked Kovalev is when I decided to pick Canelo. And you guys have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever you are. Peace.
And remember.
What is that song? I believe the Beatles had it. Is all you need is one. Deontay Wilder just needs one shot.
All you need is one.
Everybody's on steroids. The whole UFC, everybody.
Fuck that shit. Fuck boxing. Fuck boxing.
You're the only person that says that.
Hey, pussy, are you still there?